Hello. We're back. Day two. I haven't played. I haven't played. I refrained from playing last night. I instead doomed myself to play Fortnite, which is fine because I love Fortnite. But we stayed away from Loftia for the night, so I could save it for today. Um, and the good news is we have more codes to give away, so we'll see how that goes. I do have two. I do have two. I know we're gonna give away one today. Today is gonna be one. I don't know if I should do two today or leave one for another day, but I kind of don't want to leave it too long to do it because I want people to be able to play. So I don't want to leave it too long. I might do one on stream and then I might do one off stream in the next like 24 hours, but we are going to do one today because I know a lot of people were in chat yesterday saying like they were struggling to get keys and I was like, I only have one. It turns out I'm allowed to use my other keys as well. So I'm one of those people that likes to follow the rules. And when someone tells me I have a giveaway key, but then I have a friend's key, I'm like, oh, I can only use that for friends. So I went and I asked, and I was like, am I allowed to use these as giveaway keys? And they were like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, okay. So I earned one key from playing because if you play it up to a certain point, I believe it's the Hanging Gardens, you get a beta key to give away to a friend. So like, I'm going to use that one. And there's another one that I already have from being in the beta to give away as well. So we have two. We have two keys. But like I say, we'll give one away on stream. And then we shall see about the other one. We'll see. If there's a bunch of people that want to enter today, then we'll see. I might do another one. In fact, I think before anyone enters, I might actually do this. Okay, we're gonna go back on and do it. Do two winners. We'll do two winners today. We'll do it on stream. Chat message. Enter. Before anyone comes in. Just in this channel. I believe that's correct. Before anyone tries to enter, because I'm going to feel terrible if not. Channel name, that's correct. Okay. Start. Okay, two prize draws. Okay, so now it has two people, so it's going to draw two people. Hopefully that works out fine, and then we can DM both of them. We should be fine. So, two giveaways. I wish I could edit this. I might even change this. And it'll say... two keys. Two winners will be picked. And then... post that. Pin that one. Pin that one instead. There we go. That's better. Okay, now we have two. We have two. But I'm going to leave it a little bit before we actually do pick anyone, obviously, because we don't want to like do it too early on in the stream. So I think I'm going to leave this open in the background. And we're going to jump into game. Hopefully the game shows up. It's on the correct thing. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to jump in. And we're going to keep playing where we were yesterday. But I have started the giveaway. So hopefully this is okay. Like I said yesterday, I had a few problems because I've never done a giveaway before. So I was kind of panicking a little bit that I wasn't going to do it right. But we did it correct. But it was on Twitter. So now I know how to do it on Twitter, but I have no idea how to do it on Twitch. So I hope this works. If it doesn't work, I apologize, but hopefully it's fine. Is this my house? Is this mine? Also, I actually want to stop the music because we have music in game. This is my house. What is this? I don't have a seat. Is that like a... Okay, it's the only thing in here. I was like, has someone put that there? Is that something that someone else has put on my plot? Because that's like super confusing. Hello, I love the mushroom distillers in your room. Thank you. I have more. You can see this guy poking out. However, there are 2 more in my bed. 2 more in my bed. I have more in front of me as well. It's ridiculous. My room is just full of them. Also, I think they changed my volume. My volume sounds very quiet. Volume sounds very quiet. I'm not too sure why. Can you guys hear the game? I don't actually know why it would be using that. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's make sure you guys can hear the game. Because I don't think it was on the correct thing for some reason. Hopefully you guys could hear it last stream. I know you guys did say you could hear it, but I'm a little bit like cautious of it not being the right thing. I think that should be okay. Can you guys hear the game? Like you can hear me selecting stuff. Hi, is everything alright here? Everything's great. How is everything for you? I can hear a bit. Okay. So we can hear things. It's very quiet though. It's very quiet. And I'm not really too sure why. Let's turn this up. Maybe that's the problem. Oh. I think we're fine. When does it finish? The close beta finishes in about 2 weeks. I'm not actually... Oh, we fell. We fell. I do have Loftia's thing up right now. Oh, it actually tells me when you redeemed a code. That's quite funny. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Let me see. Okay. It started yesterday. When does it end, guys? I don't know the actual date, but I know it ends in like 2 weeks. So I know that it should be about 2 weeks from now. I'm just gonna double check. Yes, your guys' entries are going through. Thank you. I was a little bit nervous that they wouldn't go through because I've never used the site before, so I'm a little bit like, I came to try my luck with the key. What do you think of the game so far? I've played the game since... Okay, why can't I hear the sound? A little bit confusing. I've been playing the game... I played the game before. I played the game in an alpha because I was a Kickstarter backer, so I've already played the game before for like 30 hours. So if you want any like short clip as to how much I love the game, the fact that I played 30 hours in a weekend of alpha tests, that shows you how much. But I'll save some future streams. How long's a beta last? Yeah. The beta is literally, I think, it's about 2 weeks. When would it end? It ends just before the next Paleo update, I think, because I remember thinking that we were going to stream Loftia and then we would go into Paleo after that. So I know there's at least 2 weeks worth, so you get a lot, which is why I decided to give both the keys I have now away today, so that you guys definitely get the chance to actually have a chance to play before it leaves. We had some stuff that we needed to do. When I ended last stream... Oh, back to house. Why would I be going back to my house? It was like very confusing because I needed to do some things for the quests, but I couldn't do them without other things. So we're a little bit in a situation where I'm like, what's going on? Love me a stream streak. 3 stream streak. Hello, thank you. Loved having you around. Hello, how is everyone? I'm good. How are you? How are you? How was everyone's night last night? Wait, was it you that was going to the darts beefy? I think it was. I think it was you. If it was, how was it? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. We need to go find Linda. Linda. Where's Linda? That's Estella. Linda's over this side. And Inspire. Did we get the things to do this? We did. There we go. There we go. Hydrate. Damn it. I didn't fill it up. It looks... I didn't put a lot of juice in it today. It looks a bit weird, but we ignore that. But I will drink. I will try and drink. I'll drink something, thank you. It was me, it was fantastic, thanks. Shame we couldn't stick around for the final, but still a great night. Oh, I'm glad it was a good night. Me and Jack played Fortnite, so I don't know which night you want to say is the best night ever, but I went off stream and I went to go play Fortnite. But we had fun. We had fun. Judge me all you want. Is the study area in Lofty open? I don't believe it is yet. I'm not too sure about that. I have wondered that myself, but maybe we'll see today. Have some mold on me. There's no mold in this bottle. This bottle's like a week old. It is fine. I'm not drinking out of my moldy bottle with the moldy straw anymore. It's okay. It's okay. No, didn't hear I'm about to hop on Fortnite myself. Honestly, I've been playing Fortnite since chapter 1, season 4. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's see how we can help Linda. Cotton and tomatoes, the cutest combination, apparently. Cotton is soft as a cloud, and that tomato blush is playfully without trying. Sweet base, cheeky accents. I can see this look brightening everyone's day like spun sugar at a fair. Nice. Okay, let's speak to her. You know, my grandma's garden was a world of its own. She grew her own ingredients for the kitchen, of course, but she also tended to the plants that gave her fabrics and dyes. A rain cloud just stirred upon us. She found inspiration in everything the land provided. Looking at these crops you've grown, I feel the same warmth starting to stir in me. Thank you for reminding me of that. Aw, nice. How do we... Does anyone... What was the problem we had? We had a problem. See this recipe in the top corner? I'm not able to do it because I don't have enough... Oh, what was it? Let's go back and we'll see. I had a problem where I basically wasn't able to create something because I don't have enough energy, because one battery fills 5 bars of energy in your solar panels. So I need another one, but I'm not able to actually do one. Oh, maybe we should... I know what we should have done. I think I remember what we need to do. I think I have to have like a permit. A bit like Paleo, I think we need a permit. I kind of forgot, I'm not gonna lie. Let's go see what it was. It was something like I needed 7 energy or something. It was on here. I needed to... I've already done one of these, but it won't let me put it down. Like, look, I need to upgrade this, but I need 7 energy, and you can only get 5 energy with 1 battery in one of these. So I need to be able to put one down, but it won't let me put one down. Because when I try to, energy station's limit reached. How do I go about upgrading that then? I think we need to go and talk to... Oh, I don't remember her name. This one. I'm pointing with my fingers if you guys can see, but the one in the orange outfit. Need to speak to her. Is crafting complicated in this game? Honestly, I spent 30 hours playing the alpha, and I think about... I want to say about maybe like 5 to 10 hours in, I had everything down. It just took me like a decent amount of time of like slow-paced gaming to actually get it under like to actually know what I was doing. But I think that's what makes the game so good, because you're not trying to rush through. It tells you what to do. It's just I rush too much sometimes. It's probably told me what I needed to do this whole time, and I've just been ignoring it. But we do that with every game. I do need to speak to Amani. Okay, which way around are we? Go this way. Okay. How about fishing? I always struggle with fishing in games like this. I think if we get through to fishing, I will show you guys. If not, I don't believe it was that bad. I remember not knowing how to fish. It took me a while, but towards the end of the 30 hours, I eventually got fishing, and I don't think it was that difficult. To put it this way, it's not as difficult as fishing in Stardew Valley. So, if that's what you struggle with, then I think you're okay. Is there unique? Yeah, there's a lot of unique stuff in this game. I think it's very different to a lot of other games, despite the feeling being similar. I think the gameplay is quite different. Obviously, the premise of it is different. We're not cutting down trees in Loftia. Trees are here to stay. They are friends. We do not cut them down. But here we go. We found her. Okay, we need to do permits. Energy stations cost 200. Okay. So I'm going to write this down before I forget. Because I'm going to end up forgetting what I'm doing. So we need an energy permit. I forgot how to spell energy. Why did I forget that? Energy permit, which costs 200. So we need to sell some stuff. So we got to do whatever it takes to get this, basically. So we have to go and make money, come back, buy that, put the satellite, put the what's it called? The thing down. I can't remember what it's called. I've forgotten already. The solar panel. Put the solar panel down. Put the battery in it, and we're fine. We can do what we need to do. No tree chopping. Where do you get wood from? I'll show you where you get wood from. Let's see if we can find something. It gives us... Oh, apologies. I'm having problems with ping. It's just a server problem. It's okay, though. If I keep bouncing back and back again, that's why. We basically go to places like this, and we find certain items. So we have a hammer, and we can hit this, and it gives us rubber. We hit this, it gives us metal. But if we go to somewhere that has different material, let's see if we can find one. I don't know if we're going to be able to find one. It's basically like these pieces on the floor. You just hit these with your hammer, or you pick them up, and it gives you materials instead of like chopping down trees or whatever. I do believe we have mining in the game, but not like we're not going to be chopping down any trees. It's like this gives me scrap wire, basically. I can't find any wood right now. Let me just show you this. So you either pick things up like that, or you smash things with your hammer and it gives you materials. So you get pretty much everything from doing that. Does they have settings to adjust the vibrancy? Good question. Very good question. We have colorblind modes. And we have brightness, but I don't believe we have anything else. I think it is just the colorblind settings. But I think if you wanted to do anything with it, you could probably use this and do something like that. In terms of graphics, though, this is 60 FPS medium settings. Not because I can't handle any more, but just because for stream reasons, I think it would help stream be a little bit better if we keep it on like a lower side of settings. But this is medium with literally 60 FPS. You don't need it to be that high to see how nice the game looks. Good job I checked Twitch because I didn't know you were on. Hello. Not like I posted it on every social media. It must be so annoying when you guys follow like streamers and they're like, I'm live, I'm live, I'm live, I'm live. I posted it twice in the main Lofty Discord, once in a different Discord, once in my own Discord, Twitter, Instagram, everything. It's like, man, you're annoying. Okay, we need to go and find stuff to sell. So my way of making money originally was mushrooms and berries. I don't know where else they are, but I do know that they are like around the dome. So this dome here. So I know if I go around, we can pick some of those up and see how much they sell for, because I don't remember. We have berries here. Does it tell us how much they are if we hover over it? No, okay. So I'm going to pick some of these up and then just see. Oh, wait. We can't do mushrooms yet. Berries only. I told to follow social media. That's okay. You have my Discord. You're in the Discord. You've got notifications. It's fine. Do notifications actually work for you guys? Is something I need to know as well. I've seen a bunch of people say that notifications were turned off for their streams at one point, and I've kind of been like, are mine still turned on? Are mine still on? You guys still get your notifications when I go live? It's actually a little bit concerning. There's nothing social about toxic cesspools. One community project could permanently link all neighborhoods to a shared sky grid that alters resource flows, biome interaction. You do this for every game, don't you? Group adventures. What would you design it to do? And what ripple effects or hidden trade-offs do you think would create... How do you, like... Where are you finding these questions? Twitch know it worked for me. Nice. That's good. I like to know that. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'm on edge thinking no one's getting my notifications. It'll take a few minutes for items to respawn again, like the foragers and respawn. Yeah, they do. They definitely respawn. I believe they respawn in the same place, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I believe that's true. I think we need to go and find Hazel, but I don't think she's here, so we're gonna go to the Hanging Gardens. So you guys are gonna see the other area. This is the main area. This is like the city. But then we're gonna go to an even prettier place. This is where we do the fishing. I can't fish yet, I don't think, but we will be soon. Let's travel. I plucked it from the deep pits of my brain. See, you're doing it to yourself. It's not me. I didn't say that. You said that. First, I turned my Discord notifications off because my phone was constantly being pinged. It was driving me nuts. That's actually... I get that. I definitely get that. It does get really annoying. That's a huge map area. So many places to go. And we have a new place. I haven't even been to it yet. I think if we go back, it might send me back. Let's see. I don't know how we actually get there. Yeah, we have this place too. I've only been to these two. But this one's new. This one was something that they only just announced. So I'm not sure if we can actually unlock it yet. But if we can, I will be... You're gonna see the excitement. Because I don't even know what this place is for. But yeah, this is where we are right now. This is like where everyone like goes fishing and stuff. I'm not sure if you can fish here. I haven't tried. I actually haven't tried, but I spent a lot of time fishing here in the alpha, so... Thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Oh, wait, that was 2 people. Thank you for the other follow as well. I do say Discord can be crazy. Discord can be a lot. I do really like having Discord open when I'm gaming sometimes, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much, especially with the pings. I think, can I sell things to Herb? Can we sell things to Herb? I don't remember. This is my friend Herb. We love Herb. We met him yesterday. Oh, wait, he has something to say. Hey, Sprout. Has Kasim told you about his research and maintenance projects at the Floating Village yet? Make sure to pay him a visit. He'll tell you all about the, what are they called? Research stations and contribution bins. You'll learn a new way of contributing to Loftia, and don't worry, Kasim makes it worth the trip with all sorts of fancy blueprints. Okay. I am still struggling with reading. I've been struggling with my reading for like... Oh, he's just going to repeat the same thing. So we can't sell to him. Okay. I've been struggling with my reading the last couple of days. It's quite bad. I'm not too sure why. There she is. Okay. So we go this way. I'm going to find Hazel and see if I can sell anything. So that we can make a little bit of money. Just a little bit. We're going the right way. Okay. Hello! Hi, Teddy! How's your day going? I hope it's well. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, I have a giveaway going for beta keys. If you look at the pinned message, it should tell you what you need to do. Hello! How is everyone? I hope everyone's having a good day. Anybody that posts something and you just a new follow channel and I get a ping. One day it was pinging so much I nearly threw my phone on the wall, not being tech savvy. I couldn't work out how to do it. Oh yeah, you can turn certain notifications off for certain channels, so you only have like one channel on per server. But it is very annoying. It is very annoying. Let me have a little check. You guys are still getting entered. Okay, I see 3 people that are entered for some reason. But I see more people in the chat that are entering, which is making me a little nervous. Why is it not doing it? I see 3 people. Is my entry there? Yes. There's 3 people. But I'm not sure why no one else is on for some reason. I'll keep it up and see. See if it, like, does it. You're okay as well. You guys are, like, the only ones that are on for some reason. I have no idea what is going on. Maybe it takes a minute too. Yeah, it might do. I'll give it a minute and we'll come back and check. I just want to keep checking because a lot of you guys did just come in, so maybe that's why. But yeah, there's the 3 of you that entered it, like the first 3 people that did it are on there, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm not too sure why it's doing that. Why can't I sell? I'm not able to sell. How do we sell? I forgot. Maybe Below still Hazel is so pretty. She is. She's the cutest. Like, come on. Come on, I wish. I wish we were as cute as that. So cute. I don't know how to sell for some reason. I don't know how to... Do we go to the bins? Is that what we do? I could have sworn you go to the shop and do it. Research station. That's... I am going to just look on Discord. We're gonna have a little look on Discord because, I mean, I'm a little bit confused. How to sell. Because I have to sell to carry on. Show her how to sell things. She's probably pretty early on. Hazel shows you how to sell things. Good advice. Maybe we should talk to her. What are you talking about? Your excuse? Oh, stop. They're still not on there. Okay, well, we'll speak to her and see if these giveaways get added on or not. And the giveaways, if the entries get added or not. If they don't, I'll try and redo it. And hopefully everyone that's entered already is on there. It says it's open to everyone. So I'm not too sure why it won't do it. We'll see in a minute. We'll see in a minute. How are things blooming in your garden? Plants are playing dead. Oh, Nature's my best friend. In that case, I think it's high time you learned what to do with all those lovely crops. This is what I needed to do. I was getting impatient. I was going too quick. You know, Loftians tend to value a good meal above almost everything else. And as luck would have it, we have an absolute marvelous chef who is a total sweetheart, though he can get quite caught up in his tasks. So if he says no, the best way to convince him is to mention a cooking contest. He's obsessed with those, but who can blame him? Kuhn, maybe? Our loft chef champion, after all. Why don't you head over to the global village and tell him I sent you to learn his ways of the kitchen? So I actually can't sell yet. Wow, okay. You do take after that stunning mummy. Oh my god. Stop it. When will the giveaway be? I'm going to leave it until about the hour mark if this works. Because if not... Oh, hang on. It says latest entries and then it says 3 counting. Live participants. Oh. Okay. I'm going to just like have a little look at this. It says the latest entries. And then it says live participant. I wonder if that's people that are in stream. It's actually a little bit confusing. If not, we will do the giveaway. We'll redo a giveaway if it doesn't work. And then I promise the keys will be given out. I promise. This is the first time I've ever done a giveaway in stream. So... And if you're my to be home, so yeah, you will. I'm not going to be live past that, I don't think. I need to end around 4:30 at the latest, so I will do it within the next hour at least. And I'm going to do both keys at the same time, so if you guys are here within the next hour, it should be okay. But yes, first time I've done a giveaway on Twitch. I did one on Twitter yesterday, and that was complicated too. So, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a mess. I've never done a giveaway before. I might leave it like maybe 4 more minutes and see if it works. I'm not sure. We can change it to Streamlabs giveaway instead, and it's the same thing. It's just the hash, like the exclamation point enter. But yeah. Hi, I love this game. I love this game too. We're obsessed. I have about 40 hours now. No rage, you're doing great. Thank you. Thank you guys for being patient. This is generally the first time I've ever played. I want to play so bad. We are trying to do a giveaway right now. I say trying because I'm a little bit concerned it's not working. But if you want to enter, just read the pinned message and you should be able to enter. If it doesn't work, we are going to try a different way of doing it in just a minute. Are we calling him Kun or Coon? I think Coon sounds correct. I'm Coon. You must be Cozy Case. I'm in the kitchen in the global village. Feeding all of Loftia doesn't leave much room for breaks or small talk. I'm always too swamped for guests right now. I'm way too swamped for guests right now. I bet I can cook better than you. A cooking contest? You can't be serious. The audacity of you. If you're so confident, why don't you whip up some meals and see if anyone around dares to eat them? Just ship them to the city through the shipping bin. A cooking station. Nice. Okay. Do I go back home for this? Build a cooking station. Okay. I think we're going to go back to my plot and do this quest. And then I think we might get the quest afterwards to sell stuff. It just means that we can't upgrade my station yet. Which is super annoying, but it's okay. Which way do I get back up? Where am I right now? I'm lost. This way. But yeah. Give it a couple more minutes and then we'll see if it's working maybe, because I don't want to leave it too long. Oh, can I go this way? I can go this way. I don't want to leave it too long and then it'd be like, oh yeah, sorry, no one's entries counted. That would be devastating. So it might just be earlier than I originally wanted to do it, but I don't want to leave you guys sitting here watching me for so long and then me be like, yeah, you didn't even get the entry. That would be very disappointing. It should work. Yeah, hopefully it is. Hopefully it's fine. There is more of you guys entered than it's showing those. That's the problem. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's still showing 3 live. It says 3 and counting. So I think we might be okay. I've never used this site before. A little bit worrying. Hopefully if this works, we know what we're doing next, so it should be okay. Should be okay. This is fully charged, right? No. Not. Now it is. Okay, we need to build a cooking station. Which we can do here, right? No, we can't. Guys! This is so confusing. It doesn't let me do it without having that. So I need to make money. What do we have? How can we sell? How do I sell my crops? So can I just like go over to this box and sell them? Is this where we sell things? Where is it? Is it this? Oh, it is! There we go. Okay, we can ship those. And now we have... How much? How much do we have? I don't know how much we have. Wait, maybe he can tell me. Can he tell me? I'm not sure if he can. No, he won't. Okay. Damn. When you're picking a winner? We're picking a winner either within the next minute or so. If the giveaway doesn't work correctly, because it's the first time I've done one, we will redo it and picking it at about in the next 20 minutes at least. So within this next like 20-30 minutes, I'm going to try and pick a winner. So now we need to... We not sell things like this. For some reason, it won't let me sell certain things. So do we have any seeds? We have loads of seeds. Okay, let's plant these. We're gonna just plant a bunch of stuff and wait for them to grow, and then we can sell things. I don't know how much money we have, so we can go back to her and see if we have enough money. I'm not actually sure how we figure out how much money we have. Do I go in here? How do we know how much money we have? That's a little bit confusing. It's fine. I would like to see you play the game as well while I still can't play. So far enjoying it. Nice. Good to know. Glad to know. But yeah, I think it is just very confusing. There's no way for me to actually see everyone that's actually entered. So I have it up and it says latest entries and it has 3 people on it. So I just don't want to like pull it and be like, yeah, well, you 3 won it and you only had a chance to be those 3 people that won. That would be like not great for me. I wouldn't love the idea of that. What are your overall thoughts on the game so far? I played the game during alpha. So I played for 30 hours over a course of 1 weekend, and I absolutely loved it. That I just could not get off, and no matter what I did, all I was thinking about was playing the game. So that's like first impressions, but coming back, it's like being at home. It's like I never went away. I forget how to do things, but I never went anywhere. We're just shy. Okay. So we need to let those grow, which means... How do we know how long it takes to grow? We have resources, crops. These take 30 minutes to grow with 10 minutes of water time. So we have to keep going back and doing that, but that's fine. You should be able to see. Yeah, it's very confusing. It is very confusing. Like I say, if it just somehow manages to pick one of the three, I'll probably have to redo it on Streamlabs, but I also have never used that before. That's exciting. Yeah, it's genuinely like being back at home. So it's like you never left. So, I hope I'm lucky my little 110 tomorrow and it'll be a lovely weekend. Oh, I hope. Man, I wish I had more. I wish I could give you guys more chances. You think the game will also be out this year after? Yes, I think they're planning on releasing the game mid this year. I think that's their plans. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe they said that. So, hopefully we'll be fine. Do you think the game will also be... Oh, sorry, that was already what you said. This is how you spell your mom's... Yes, it is. It is, yes. I don't think she's in right now. In the stream right now. I think we need to double check. What do we actually have to do right now? Tony. Thank you to the gifted sub. I'll make sure to let her know. She's not in the stream right now, I don't think, but... She's in the other room. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've been like for giveaways and lost. You have? Oh my god, that's my kind of luck too. I'm not good with giveaways either. What other games do you play? I mainly play... in terms of cozy games, we have Fortnite, Dreamlight Valley, Stardew Valley. I'm waiting for Witchbrook like every other person. But right now, those are like the main games that I really play. And I think right now we only really stream... Oh, and Stars and Island. I forgot about that. Right now, the only games we're really streaming are Palia, Stars and Island. And then if I feel like it, I'll stream some Dreamlight Valley or Stardew. And then Loftia, obviously. And Loftia will be out soon. Completely out soon in early access. So we should be able to play that on stream. Witchbrook, I was excited for that before I forgot about it. You forgot about it because it's so long since you found it. That makes so much sense. I have been following the game since about, I think, 2 years into the development. Once they changed the name to Witchbrook, that's when I found it. I didn't know Fortnite was a cozy game, though. I play Fortnite, but I don't play it on stream. Don't worry about it. It can be cozy, but I don't play cozy. Child of Fields of Mystria. I bought Fields of Mystria. I was so excited for Fields of Mystria, and I just did not play it. Now, don't judge me, please. It looks absolutely amazing. It looks so cute. I just haven't had like the brain to sit down and be like, start a new game. But one day I will get around to it. One day I will get around to it. It looks so good. I love the aesthetics of it too. Okay. What do we need to do? I feel like I don't want to leave the giveaway any longer. We might do the giveaway now. And then if it doesn't work, we can just redo it like I said, because I'm going to feel so bad if it doesn't work. I think we'll do the giveaway now. And then basically, if it doesn't work, I will try to redo it. If it just doesn't work, I am very sorry. I will try and maybe do it on a different platform just so I know I can get it through to work, because it's very difficult. There are so many platforms to do giveaways on Twitch, but for some reason they're so complicated to use. My backlog is huge now. My backlog is so bad. I have games I've backed and I haven't even tried to play them yet. It's insane. I did 8 giveaways in Palia, and the only giveaway I won was where I was the only one in it. Oh, that's my kind of a thing. I want to play, trying to win for this girl I know, it'll make her so happy. Okay, well, let's try and pull the giveaway now. There should be 2 winners, and if the only 2 winners happen to be 2 of the 3 people that I can see on my screen, I'm personally going to assume that that is a very odd coincidence and redo it, which I know might be a little bit annoying, but I don't want to basically just be like 3 people had a chance to win. So I think we're going to do it and see what happens. I pressed pick a winner. But it's not picking a winner. I'm pressing pick a winner and it's not picking a winner. Guys. Good luck, everyone. Good luck to me as well, because if this doesn't work... Let me open it up in another tab as well and see if it's, like, just bugged or something for a second. I see 11 participants. I got people. Okay, I reopened it in another window and it did update to 11 people that were participated, and I have got 2 winners. So, let me get it up on the screen. Do it this way. Browser. It should. It should show it, but it is not showing it. For some reason. Will it do it if I do it on here? I want to show you guys the screen so I can, like, not be like, hey, I definitely decided random people for this. Okay. Let me get my phone. Let me... I'm gonna take a picture of this just so I can be like... You know. I want to make sure you guys actually trust me on this. But for some reason, it's not showing up on screen. And I'm not too sure why. Oh, there we go. There we go. It showed up on screen. Okay. I need to get into the stream so I can find you guys and DM you guys. Turn my volume down. Might help. Okay, first person, we have Teddy. Teddy, there you are. Okay. Hopefully I can message you guys. Hopefully it lets me whisper. I'm going to send the code and the message on Twitch, just because it's a little bit easier. If it lets me actually copy it, thank you. And then... we should be good to go. This is going to take me just a few minutes. But I promise you guys will have it in just a second. Do that. And then I need to go onto Loftia and actually copy them. Please do let me know if they don't work. If they don't work, I will... Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If the codes don't work, please do let me know. Like I say, I will have to try and like message someone and see if they can give you a new code or something. Not too sure how that works. Right, I have the first. I have the first code. Okay. Double check. Yeah, okay. There we go. Hopefully it works. I sent Teddy's. Let me send the next one. Make sure it's the different code, not the same code, because then that wouldn't work, would it? And come out with that. Go on here. And it's on my other page. Rewards. Go. Okay, I'm sending the next one now. I'm so sorry this took so long to do. You can tell it's the first time I've ever done one of these. There we go. Timid. Timid is the other winner. Like I say, do let me know if the codes don't work. And let me unpin this message just because I don't want people coming and being like, oh, we're doing a giveaway, but we're not doing a giveaway anymore. That'd be really cruel. And I just missed a bunch of messages too. No, you guys panicking as well. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for all the panic. That's so funny. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, there we go. We're done. We're done. We're done. Thank you. If any of the 2 winners could make sure to message me and then make sure that they've gone through. If you can just message me back on Twitch and let me know that the code's worked. The code worked for you? Nice. Okay, so we have one more person. If Timid wants to try the code and see if it works, do let me know if it works. And if it doesn't, I can go and see what I can do about it. But yeah, thank you for messaging, for letting me know. I'm so glad it worked. I hope you guys have fun. If I have any more codes, I will let you guys know, but right now that is all of my codes gone. If you guys do want a chance to win a code and get in the game, then I know there are a bunch of other creators out there doing them. But also, if you guys aren't already in the Palia Discord, the official Palia Discord, do join the Discord, because they are doing giveaways for little like they're doing games in the Discord, and if you do the games, you could win a code. So do make sure to join their Discord, because you could win that way too. But there are a bunch of other really great partners that are giving away codes as well. So yeah, make sure to go and have a little look and see who's doing them, because there will be quite a few. I've seen some people giving away quite a few, so if you didn't have any luck today, I apologize. But thank you for being here anyway. I appreciate you guys. So we have one more person. I'm not sure if they're in stream right now. They are. They might be lurking though. We'll give them a little bit. If not, I might have to maybe give the key to someone else, but we'll see. I don't want to give it away just yet, because, you know, you could be lurking, you could be doing something. But do let me know. Okay, what were we doing? What were we doing? Jack, you don't have any way to play the game. You guys honestly should thank Jack, because if Jack had a PC, I might have been like, have the code. But he does not. But yeah, the giveaway is finished. There you are. The giveaway is done. Okay, we're done. You're here. Sorry, busy moment, but I could try it soon. That's okay. That's totally fine. As long as I know that you are where you won, that's all that matters. But do just let me know if you want to message me back on Twitch, even if I'm not live. Just like, don't worry about it. Just message me and let me know it worked. If it didn't work, I will do whatever I can to try and reach out to the Lofty team and see if they can figure it out. But thank you so much for being here. But yeah, those are the rest of the codes. Now we gotta actually play the game, because I have no idea what we were doing. I forgot what we were doing. We need to cook this, but I can't cook it until we have the upgrade to the, like, a crafting bench thing. I have no idea. I have no idea how to do it. If any of you guys are playing and you see me walking around, I am on the Frankfurt, I think. I think it's the Frankfurt server. I believe it is. If you guys are on the Frankfurt server, then if you see me walking around and want to say hi, don't worry. Come up to me and say hi, it's fine. And if you guys want to add me in game, you can too. My name's right above my character. Thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. I think I missed someone else's as well, so thank you to you as well. But we need to upgrade, and I don't know how to upgrade. This is the only thing I have. Did I miss something? Did we miss something? In order to make this, I need level 1. Guys, I think we're reading things wrong. I think I read it wrong. So we need Project Station 1 to make an oven. Not too sure about that. Everyone's characters are so cute. They're adorable. It's like, we're like dolls. We're like little dolls. It's so cute. Everything feels almost like, it's like play, you know? That's how it sort of feels. It's a little bit like the game sort of like molded out of clay in the best way possible. I love that. Oh, it's here. It's here. Okay, we need 2 of these and 1 of these. So that means we actually need to do this. Wait, I think we needed 2 of those ones. Did we need 2? Let's pin this. Is it already pinned? It's already pinned. It's already pinned. I don't know what I'm going on about. Okay. What are these while we wait? So that they grow and we can make more money. It looks like the Hardtopia graphics with Paley community. Honestly, I think the community thing in Loftia is even better. I don't know. Like the fact, I think there's trading in the game now. We read something the other day that said trading was in the game. We can trade with each other? Because I'm sorry, but if we can trade, that beats everything. That beats everything. I'm so excited to play eventually. I can't wait for you guys to all just be able to play. I'm not sure if we have like communities or anything in this. Let's see, actually. I saw something about... Where was it? Friends. Not there. Where would it be? In here? Groups. First one are accepting a request to create a group. I think there's just groups right now, and then there's friends. But I don't know if there's like communities or anything yet, but I feel like we could. That could be something we end up having. Hi. Ooh. Melody. Sorry, I couldn't see your name. It was too dark on my screen. Welcome in. Actually, to see if anyone's tried to add me as a friend. No. Okay. Because I wanna accept all you guys. We need one of those, and then we're done, and we can make the cooking station. However, I don't currently have any food. Because I think I just sold it all thinking we needed the money to do what we needed to do when we don't. This looks so cute. It's adorable. Like, look at my character. She has hearts for blush. How... I can't. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, we need it. We need it. And the little stars in the eyes as well. Perfect. Sorry, I always forget it's too dark on dark mode. Yeah, I have OBS on dark mode, so like sometimes I struggle to see names, but it's okay. I know it's you. I know it's you if it's the dark text. Oh, once I start playing. Oh, yeah, definitely do. How's the game? It looks so cute. I'm dying to play. Honestly, how many hours do I have now? Let me just update you guys on the hours. I played Loftia during the alpha for 1 weekend, and I got 29.5 hours, I believe. I'm now currently sat on 34.6 hours. Oh, I'm currently like in a situation of I am addicted, and it is ridiculous. But at least I can say the game's great. This is adorable, isn't it? I'm obsessed. We're just gonna become more and more obsessed as well. It's gonna become a problem. But you know what? I will let it take over. That's amazing. Yeah, I spent a whole weekend playing one of the alpha tests, and I just couldn't get off. I had an assignment due, I think, that like next week as well after the alpha test, and I had Loftia up on the screen while I was doing my uni work on the other screen. Because I was just that obsessed. I'm addicted to watching people play. Same. I have so many streamers to catch up on. I saw, who was it? It was Let's Play K. I saw that she streamed it, and I was like, I gotta watch. I have at least one 4-hour stream to watch. I haven't watched it yet. How do you like the building personalization of it so far? So I haven't really done anything so far. Even in the beta, I didn't really do much. I kind of just like have this house that I've changed. And you can do that by going over to this little guy. This is like our Einar, essentially. And you can change the entirety of your house. I want something very specific though. I want the one that's like a cottage that has like the overgrown ivy and everything on it. Because like, why would I not? Why would I not want that? And then you can change the colors of the walls. The trims. So there's like quite a few things you can do, but you have to unlock them, I think, through leveling up and stuff, or through purchasing them. But you can do like add more rooms, and you can expand the island. You can make the island bigger. And I'm not too sure how we actually find that in the shop. Here we go. Here's the shop. This is what I want. It's literally just like it's like the one from Palea. It's like similar to that. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Also, before I go on, I just met my follower goal. Not the one on screen, but the Twitch one. Thank you guys. Ads are about to start in 20 seconds, and I do apologize. I have nothing I can do about it. I do 3 minutes of ads for 57 minutes of no ads, so I apologize, but we will be right here when you come back. I'm behind on chat. Thank you guys for following. Oh my god. So many of you guys today. Let me keep chat there so I can keep up to date with you guys. But you can change the outside of your cottage. You can change the amount of like island you have, how many like rooms you've got, and everything, literally everything. And there's a bunch of furniture too, which we might not even end up unlocking. but we'll have to see. I've literally been watching people play since midnight. Wait, what time is it where you are? That's crazy. Ivy is always my way to go. I just love anything that's like witchy vibes. You can see all the mushrooms. You can see the mushrooms. It's not hidden. It seems so fleshed out for beta. It definitely is. Honestly, like, the amount that we have for beta is kind of crazy. I think this game is even more polished than some games that are fully released. I'm not gonna go naming games, but like, there are some out there that are nowhere near as polished as this, and the game isn't even fully out yet. So I give props to them. That's what I was going to say. I'm on Loftia now. Oh my god. Congrats on the follow goal. Thank you. It's now 2 p.m. 2 p.m? You've been watching for 12 hours? Have you slept? Have you slept? Please tell me you slept. That's crazy. Love the dedication, but wow. Crazy. Okay, we need to be able to do this. So we're gonna have to wait for these. And then we need to plant some more. Because I need... Oh, can I buy any of these? It wants me to do 2 meals. If I hadn't have sold my carrots, we could have... If I hadn't have sold my carrots, I could have done that. That's so annoying. Seems to be more polished than paleo. I think the thing is with this game as well, if no one's like aware of the development, they started off as just 2 people. They started off as just a couple, and they both quit their jobs and basically set out to make something that they've always wanted to do, and it turned out amazing. But they've grown from such a tiny team to like an amazing team full of people, and I think it's such like a cool thing because I started following their journey the minute they posted their first TikTok, which watching it now and playing it, it's so cool. I've slept, don't worry. Okay, good. Good. I was gonna say, don't tell me you've been awake this whole time while looking in a Loftia stream. I do that. I do that too. I lurk in people's streams even when I should be sleeping. Of the game now, Twitch is lagging. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you need to leave Twitch to go and play the game, I'm not gonna be... I won't be mad. Don't worry. They're so brave to quit their jobs of other dreams. It's very impressive. You can watch the journey through all their videos on like TikTok and Instagram, I believe. They've updated so many different ways along. It's crazy. Like, I basically saw their video and then they put out a Kickstarter and I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta see this journey the full way through, and I've been there the whole way through, and it makes me kind of emotional. It's the one time I've actually seen a game from the beginning of development up until this point, which is crazy. It's actually crazy. We've followed for a few years now. It's lovely. Yes. I remember seeing the first video pop up on my For You page, and I was just like, the energy was just like, it was just giving something, and I was like, I gotta follow. And the game, even back then, it looked so promising. So they definitely lived up to what they wanted to do. Okay, we actually can't... So we can't do that. Let's unpin some things. Let's do... Can I unpin this? Oh, I don't think I can. Can I unpin stuff? It's not gonna let me unpin... Can I unpin this? I want to... Unpin. There we go. There we go. It finally... Oh, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it! Why can't I press M? It's not letting me unpin it, but it's okay. Let's just tell my partner about this game, and now the two of us are wanting it. That's so cute. I love that. I can't wait for you guys to actually play it together. Proud of them for getting even to the beta stage. It's been crazy. Obviously I can't say too much about alpha because, like, you know, NDAs and stuff. But the difference is all I will say. The development in like the last, what, 6 months? Crazy. The amount that they've managed to change or like improve on is actually insane, especially the character customization, because if you guys don't already know, the amount of hair, this is the impressive thing. Look at all of these hairs. We're in beta. They could have been like, have 4 hairstyles. Have 4 hairstyles, but no. Look at this. Look at this. We have everything. We have everything. Back from ads. I don't know if anyone asked, but there are animals for your house area or like following you. Good question. Good question. If you guys are interested about a bunch of little things, they do have a Kickstarter that I think you can go and look at everything on there. I'm not sure if you can look at it anywhere else, but they do like a bunch of developer notes on there too, just to explain things better, because I'm not the best at explaining things. But they do, I think, have pets on the way. And I believe we get a capybara pet for getting to a certain point in the game during the beta. So the beta, if you get a chance to play it, you get a pet from a certain point. But there's going to be pets in general. I don't remember what there was, but I'm pretty sure you can have a duck or a goose or something as well. Which you already know I'm going to have. So the soft calls online, I'd love to give everything such a warm... Oh, Jack, I truly thought that you were like... you were like someone else typing that. I was like, oh, that's a genuine message. So animations I make feel clean. As much as you're like partially just like trolling a little bit, you're true. You're being honest. It's true. It's definitely true. Are these done yet? They're not done yet. No. They're still growing. We get a skin for the capybara for completing the quest line. There you go. Thank you for the information. I needed your help. That sounds more like it. So we can get a capybara, but then the skin is from completing the quest line. Thank you. Courage Face gave me a Caroline. I love it. Wait, you're right. You're right. I think it goes hand in hand with like the clay kind of feeling too. Duck, my interest has been piqued. Let me have a little look. I want to see where it is. Should I go on Kickstarter and see? Like, do I have it? There we go. Let me see if I can find like what it is. Because I could have sworn there was a duck or something. I could have sworn. Where is it? Updates. They said something about pets. They were like, look at this new pet. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me. Furniture, seeing, final update. Where was it? I believe it was actually on their socials. If you guys go on their socials, I'm pretty sure they do have a video of like a few pets and everyone was going crazy about it, me included. Which like, you know what I'm like. If you guys don't know me enough already and you've not been here long enough, I have this thing of like having an emotional connection to things that it might not even make sense to you. I go in a shop and I see a plushie and I'm like, I've already picked up the plushie, I can't put it back down. It's like that with video games. You give me a pet, I'm gonna be like, I've named it now. I've named it, I have to use it. I can't not use it. So when they give us a duck, I'm gonna be like, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. I have Dreamlight Valley and I got two of the geese in game. Now I walk around with a yellow goose and a white goose at all times, and they are very annoying. They are very loud, but they are great and they're perfect and I love them. They came from the heart. I wouldn't dare want to come across as a troll in a cozy community. I always feel at home here. If you guys aren't aware, Jack's my friend and he likes to troll a lot. I can't take you serious. I really can't take you serious when you type like that. This just says a lot about me and my partner. Whenever we're in Discord voice chat together, he quacks at me to get my attention. That's perfect. That's actually perfect. I love that. I'm gonna take off my jacket, by the way, because I'm starting to get a little hot. And we don't want to get hot because I felt kind of faint the last couple of days and I don't want to feel like that again. I just started to feel better before stream, which is weird actually. So the pets that they announced was dog, cat, turtle, capybara, duck, llama, and baby penguin. There you go, guys. There you go. Jay coming to the rescue. That's literally perfect. What do you mean I get a duck? Wait, guys. Okay, we played Stars on Island and I rented out one of the, I think it was he an alpaca? I think he was an alpaca. But you can rent out pet like animals to use as mounts in that game. And we had one that looked like a punk alpaca, so we named him Paul. Maybe we need the alpaca. The llama, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we need him so we can call him Paul. Clearly I have a specific park cat that I'm so attached to. He comes with me everywhere. I can't imagine being able to run around with a caviar or a duck. Guys, we're gonna have a little duck friend. I'm gonna need the duck. I'm sorry, I need the duck. I need the duck and he needs a little hat. I need a little like yellow rain hat. I just feel like it'd be perfect. Jack doesn't like to troll, he just tells you as it is. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't care. Say what you want. I find it funny anyway. He's my pet dog, he's my human, but he's my... Wait, he is my pet dog. Yes, he's human, but he's my pet dog. I think most, if not all of us, need the duck. The ducks, by the way, guys, we are just waiting for these because I can't do anything until they're grown, so we're gonna gap for a little bit. But the duck, if I need any of those pets, like the baby penguin is adorable. Don't get me wrong, they're all cute, but that duck is gonna be perfect. We're gonna have mushrooms and ivy everywhere, and we're gonna have a little pet duck. They're gonna fit in perfect. Little rain hat and a jacket. Wait, like is it a porch goose that people have? That they like dress up for like different seasons? Let me do that, please. Let me do it. I love how they made a distinction that it's not just any penguin, it's a baby one. Literally, it could have been like a fully grown one that's like, it's still cute, but a fluffy, cute little baby penguin is just like, that's perfect. We needed that. They knew their audience. I think the funniest thing is watching a game develop, you can see just how much they pay attention to their community from how much they implement in the game throughout the development, because the amount of things they've added over the last year is crazy. Like, if we said we want this most insane thing, they would just be like, oh, you want that in Loftia? Okay, cool. We'll get it in there somehow. Okay. We have 4 minutes. Guys, 4 minutes. I'm going crazy. Can I even cook anything with these? Carrots. Tomato and wheat. Egg. Is the egg on its own? Eggs on its own. We need 3 of them, but we need 6. We actually need 6 eggs. I'm gonna go see who sells eggs. Because if someone sells eggs, maybe we could just do that. Because I have to grow the tomatoes, and then I have to have wheat to be able to make something. It's taking too long. It's taking too long. First one, we could buy crops. Not just grow them, but buy them. But I feel like I'm remembering wrong. Like I said, it's like coming home, but I've like forgotten a few things. Just a few things. Okay. Who sells things? Who are you? I don't remember who you are. Won't be her. The permits office, fashion shop, furniture shop, world project, seed shop. Seed shop? Maybe. Which side is that on? I made my little character and I'm obsessed with it. Nice! I can't wait to see it. Which way are we going? Wrong way! Wrong way! Yesterday, we had someone in game come over to me in game, and I was like, "Who's clapping behind me?" And it was someone from stream, so I found that quite funny. And then I'm pretty sure if you have a hammer and you want to bonk my head, go ahead. I find it quite funny. Everyone just walks around and bonks each other in the head, like, bonk for you, bonk for you. It's literally perfect. It might seem weird, but you know what? I don't care. If you come near me, I'm gonna bonk you on the head. You better be prepared. Wait, we can't buy anything from the seed shop. Can we buy crops? I'm gonna have to go see. I'm gonna have to see. Buy eggs. Where can we buy eggs from? From June. Wait, this is June? Is it Yun? June, Yun, or Jun? How do we say the name? I don't want to butcher the name. I always butcher the name. And I feel terrible. They're in Hanging Gardens right now. Wait, who's in Hanging Gardens? I forgot that would happen. Wait. Hi. The gardener? Yeah. Hazel. Hazel's in the Hanging Gardens right now, but I'm pretty sure that this guy might sell me something. I remember being able to buy something, but right now the game won't let me sell and it won't let me buy anything other than seeds. So I'm gonna see. It's so exciting to finally meet you. I can't wait to tell you more about world maintenance. I recognize the global village contributor when I see one. But no rush at all. You should settle in first, okay? Oh, never mind. He won't let me. Okay. And what is this? Oh! By donating cooked dishes to the Gold Village, players will help Loftia feed and inspire with the tastiest recipes. Oh, you guys already got 62%. The little village is so much cuter than I had expected in the beta. Honestly, it feels like a completely finished game nearly. I'm not gonna lie. The amount that we have is actually crazy. When I've played beta tests before or like alpha tests before, there's never been this much in the game. So, okay. How can I not buy ingredients? Can I not buy ingredients yet? Oh, guys, my eyelashes are like sticking together and it's like freaking me out. If you get a dog, you can call them Derek. No, it's not a good enough name. No, I like to call my, like, I have one on my bed. I got one from, I went to TK Maxx, that was it. I went to TK Maxx and this is so funny. This little girl was like saying to her dad that she wanted this like plush and I was like, I need that plush. In my head I'm like, I need that. And he's like, no, you have too many and like, I have free will. So she put it down and I was like, oh, do you want it? And he's like, no. Walks away. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take it then. So I took it home. He's on my bed. He has a very, very long neck, so his head doesn't stay up, so he kind of just sits like this on my bed. But the reason why I'm saying no to Derek is because, right, he needs to have a silly name. It's a duck. It's gonna be like, I don't even know. It's like Bob. I don't know. It's just gonna be like a silly, like, odd name for a duck. Derek's not silly enough. You can't buy ingredients till you finish the... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saving my sanity. I will be patient. What's wrong with the name Derek? Derek is fine for like a goofy dog. Maybe. Or I feel like Derek would be a funny name for like a baby penguin because it just doesn't make any sense. But it's too normal of a name for a duck. Derek the duck is too normal. It doesn't sound odd. You know when someone names their dog, when someone names their dog a name that sounds as though it would be their child, and then they're like, oh no, it's not a child, it's my dog. It's gotta sound weird. Like, you totally Derek is a silly name for a duck. It's not silly enough. Well, time I have some respect around here. It's not like Jack hasn't been watching my streams since way before I even made this account or anything. Quack attacks, guard ducks. Oh my god, quack attack. Can you imagine? Everyone just shows up on like day one of Loftia with like a duck. We all just like raid everyone with duck. There's no hope for us, they. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I'm sorry. Derek's not silly enough. Name it Goose and then everyone will have ducks and you will always be it. That I like. That I like. That's a silly one. I like that one. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Okay, we have tomato, now we need to do wheat, because if we don't do wheat, then we have nothing. So this is wheat, yes? Yes, okay. How do I... Why won't it select? There we go. Right, there we go, there we go. I was so confused for a second then. Watering can needs filling up, and I don't think I have a watering thing yet, so one of you guys better have one. Yes. Hi. Oh, no, you've locked it. Okay. Never mind. Guess I'm making one. I guess I'm making one. We'll make one instead. Some people don't like me using their water collectors. Sorry. Rain collector. There we go. And we'll put it down. Oh, that's not correct. There it is. Okay. That person did not want me to use their thing. That's fine. I wish I knew how to turn the setting on as well, because I have no idea if people can steal my stuff yet. If you loved it, you would call it Derek. I'm not calling my duck Derek. Although, do you know what the funniest thing is, actually? Wait, was her name Casey or was it Cassie? I think it was Casey, right? You know The Life of Derek? If anyone knows the show. Yeah, that would be kind of funny, actually, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening, okay? Dippy Yolk Egg the duck. Dippy Yolk Egg. What do you call him when you like want him to like come over? Like, do you call him Dippy Yolk or Egg? I am tired. I hope you have a good rest of your stream. Thank you so much for coming by. I really hope you enjoy the game. Have a good rest of your day. B and then the. I think someone I said watch change house settings. B and then the. B and then V. Nope. Oh. B and then exit and then V. Okay. I just want to make sure they can't use my storage. Private. Okay. So we want that on private because I want to make sure no one can steal my stuff. And then I'll keep everything else on, I think. There we go. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I did not know how to turn it off the other day. Sad name. It's a sad day for the name Derek. I don't mind the name Derek. I don't mind the name Derek. I have nothing against Derek. Derek is a perfectly fine name. It's just not a silly, goofy name. Like Bob. Bob the Duck. It just sounds so... like, I don't know. It's so normal of a name, but it's a duck. I think we need to leave the duck questions out now. Question is a daily stream supposed to have a tracker counter that shows your growing tally? It should have. When you... Has someone picked and it's not said anything? It should have partially connected. Do you know why? Because my setting is turned off. It did yesterday, but not today. Yeah, something's wrong with my streamer bot. Huh. I wonder why. How do I turn it back on? How do I turn it back on? What's wrong with the setting? Oh, it's because it needs updating. Okay. I'll have to like update that and then it should work next stream. But yeah, normally it does have a counter where it says like, you've collected so many of them. So you're right, it should have that. I have an Uncle Bob. Wait, seriously? See, my granddad's name was Bill, but he was actually Billy. Billy, William, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, so like Billy could work, but Bob's just goofy. Bob's just a goofy name. What is with people naming everything Bob? I can't help it. I just can't help it. It's just like such like a standard name. It's like you don't expect like a random like pet or something to be called Bob. If I have a blob, it's just a blob. I'm calling it Bob. It just clicks. I don't know what it is. I made a snowball years ago and named it Bob. Exactly. When I was in my first year of high school, or just before the first year of high school, we went up to the high school for like a tester day, and in art they made us do like clay sculptures, and I just had a blob. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just left it and named it Bob. And the teacher was just like, Are you okay? I was like, no. You're gonna deal with this for like the next 6 years. But if yesterday and today it hasn't. Oh, okay. I got my notebook out. Let me write that down. I'll do that. I'll do that after stream or like tonight. And see why it's not counting, because it should do. I'll tell him his name is silly enough for a duck. I mean, honestly, I would be like honored. If someone told me they take 50 minutes. Okay, I don't think we're going to be doing that today, which is fine. So we're gonna go just like collect a bunch of materials and stuff then, because I'll talk to some new NPCs, because for some reason that's going to take an hour to do. Should have done that off stream, huh? But I would be honored if someone said that my name was usable for a duck. Like, think about it. It's like when you have like a golden retriever, right? Think of a golden retriever and give it a name that sounds perfect for a golden retriever. Bert. Like, calling your golden retriever Bert. Like B-E-R-T. That's perfect. It's just like golden retrievers just have like, they have nothing going on. They have nothing going on up there. They don't know they exist. You've got to give them a name that just like goes with that. It's just like, I don't know. Bob is boring, plain. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. It's like Pebble. Pebble. Pebble is named Pebble because Pebble looks like a pebble. Pebble's so tiny like Pebble. We could go to Disney and do Daisy or Donald. True. Donald could work. But then again, it's used. Is there any ducks out there called Bob? Are there any ducks that are famously known called Bob? I don't know. I don't know. Derek is more of a duck name than Bob. How? How is it? That's crazy. I don't even know how. We can just call him Roast. We're not doing this. This is not paleo. We are not doing this. We are not naming our animals after food that we eat. You would never catch me eating duck. No, makes me cry just thinking about it. Makes me cry just thinking about it. Not even a funny joke anymore. You guys are insane. Okay, we need to talk to some new NPCs because we have nothing else to do right now until the crops grow. Okay. Greetings. Funny how the best adventures start with a simple crossing of paths, isn't it? I'm Ryder, by the way, and I spend my days charting skies beyond Loftia, setting up research outposts on distant islands. Have you noticed the skies have been acting up lately? Not the skies. We've lost contact with the research islands, and I'm looking for some brave recruits to help me get back there. I'd really appreciate if you could join us. Our first mission is to recover the scrambled coordinates scattered across Loftia. Oh, this actually might be a decent one to do on stream. These skies are far too wild to navigate without a steady compass. From what I observed, it looks like these could be hidden absolutely anywhere. From scrap piles to berry bushes. Why don't you bring me 5 of these coordinates? I'll be prepping for our departure. Good luck. Good luck indeed. I don't know what we're doing. You can go to adventures by initiating the adventure ship. Adventures can be better in groups of 4 players. We can also play them solo. You'll have a limited time to complete as many objectives as you can with your group. Each objective requires conquered grants you better prizes at the end. Over time, you'll master adventures as you learn objectives and acquire more tools. So don't push it for now. Even completing a single goal is a great start. Oh. So do we go... How do we do this? It could be tricky to spot, like, tracking a differing star in an endless sky, random what we could say. But here, we keep roaming around Lofty with that hammer of yours. Okay. So we need to just basically do a bunch of material stuff and find them through collecting materials. That's what I'm assuming for what he just said. He was like, whack everything with your hammer and then something will happen. So let's see. Let's see what we find. Hopefully this isn't too difficult, but I don't mind too much if it takes a little bit of time. Unless the fact that there's no materials. There we go. Okay, nothing there. We just keep going, we probably find something. I don't really know what a scrambled coordinate is. But I think we'll find out at some point. Let's see, maybe... Do we think there's a better chance of them spawning in certain areas? Or is it just... whatever? Is it everything? Or is it like, if we farm more wood, then we get it? I guess we'll find out? No. Okay. Where else can we go? There's nothing back there. We go up here somewhere? Yeah. See, like, do we get more from doing this? No, same chance. Okay. So we just, like, hit a bunch of materials and try and find... Until we run out of space, because I ran out of space yesterday and I still haven't made a better chest, because I'm not even sure if I have the ability to make double chest yet. So we'll have to see until I run out. How much space do we actually get? Because it's like one stack of 20 for every item, I think. I think once you run out of the space for that... Oh, we found something! Okay, so it looks like this. Okay. Don't know what it does. Don't really know what it is, but it's gonna help save the day, so it's fine. It's gonna help save the day. Okay. Do we have one? Is there anything up there? There is, but I don't know how we get up. Oh. Oh? I did something. I didn't mean to do anything, but I think I'm upgrading stuff. Oh, it's bugged. No, it's not. It's not bugged, my ping is going to shoot up in a second. As long as stream's okay, I don't care. Yep. There we go. As long as my stream's okay, it's fine. I just don't want to bug out the game too much because I don't want the game to crash. But if you're playing on Frankfurt, I don't think there's any problems on the LA server. If you guys don't care about having high ping, then the LA server apparently is one of the best servers right now. But Frankfurt is having a few problems. Basically just rubber banding everyone. So you try and go forward, it pulls you back. But, I mean, I just like let it do its thing and then it's fine. So, should be fine. I'm gonna pick up everything. Cotton seeds. We have max cotton seeds now. So we can only carry 20 of everything, I think, by the seams of it. A little bit odd. I don't remember only being able to carry 20. So I wonder... Oh, we got another one. So I do wonder if that's something they're going to change or if it's something they're keeping in. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hope they change it. Oh, that makes you fall through. Okay, we'll go this way. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of having limited amount of resources. I think it might be through like upgrades. Maybe if you pick up doing it again. Aren't you on EU anymore? I am on EU. I'm just suggesting if you're having problems with EU, you might need to just switch to a different server. It might be worth switching to a different server and see if it works better for you. But obviously I'm closer to EU. I'm in Europe. So I'm closer to Frankfurt than anywhere else. But apparently LA's servers are like perfectly fine. So progress talents will expand your carry. Thank you. You know so much more than me. How do you know so much? I literally thought I was like, I'm gonna come into this, know everything. I know everything. Like I've played the game before. I know what I'm doing. I think when I just love a game so much, I don't pay attention to enough stuff. I kind of am just like, I'm just engrossed in everything that I just like forget. I did this with Palia too. I played Palia for the alpha tests and then I went into the closed beta, and then when the beta came out publicly, I was playing and I was like, oh, I know everything, and everyone else was telling me how to do things. It's crazy. I haven't even done the mini games yet, actually, now that I think about it. Oh. 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 I'm not showcasing the game very well. I'm just glad it's not my ping that's the problem. Like, it's not my internet that's, like, got any sort of problems. It is just the game. Oh. Sorry, I just hit them with a hammer. I'm just glad to find out that it's not my internet, so... Yeah, if you're experiencing any problems, everyone else is too. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. And I doubt that they'll be like this when we go into the full release as well, because, okay, running like that is actually hit my brain a little bit. Let's zoom out. I think that, like, when we come into the early access release, so, like, when everyone's able to play, I think we'll probably have more servers. I'm gonna assume. I'm assuming it, but I could be wrong. I feel like there needs to be a London server, because there's gonna be a lot of people in the UK playing. And I'm not too sure how many servers. We have 4 servers right now. So we have EU, NA. Do we have Australia, and then we have an Asia server maybe? Is that what we have? It's like the ping isn't really a problem. In games like this, you don't have to worry too much about what server you're playing on. But I think it's the kind of server it is. Or the overload of the server, maybe. So there's a lot of people. I actually could not believe it. Well, I could believe it, but it was insane when I first saw when the game went live. The amount of people that were watching streams is crazy. There's like 8K people on Twitch alone watching the streams. It makes me feel so good. Like, how many people? It's crazy because some of the biggest cozy games right now have like less than, like, I would say 5K at like prime time. So it's definitely insane for Loftia to be on what they're on right now. Of course, they should have more servers in all continents, only 2 US and 1 EU, I think, right now. Yeah, and I think there's the Sydney server, LA server, Frankfurt, and maybe one more. And I can't really use any of them in terms of it being good. They're not great for me, but they're okay. I mean, I don't know what we had when we played Alpha, so... Yeah. But it definitely feels like they will probably have more when they do the early access. With everything else they've got going on, I think I can 100% feel like... I 100% feel like they're gonna have more, like, they're gonna fix things like the server issues and stuff like that. That's definitely something I could see them doing. In comparison to everything else, it seems like the one thing that they have to do is that. But also, partner saw your post on X. Nice. A lot of people seem to see my post on X now. It's crazy because I don't feel like they've used to. I feel like Twitter used to be really difficult for my reach to get out there, but I think lately it's been pretty good. I actually do love though when you guys find me on socials outside of Twitch. I actually love that. Like, sometimes I just get a notification that someone followed me on Twitter and I'm like, where did you come from? And I find out that they're from like Instagram. I'm like, huh? That's pretty cool. I think number of servers will depend on how many players are going to be playing on a server. Yes. So I think because they are Australian themselves, I think Australia is obviously somewhat of a priority there. EU, in terms of like at least 2 servers, so like one UK and one usually is Frankfurt. Frankfurt is usually the secondary server for like EU servers typically, and then like an NA East, NA West. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be very complicated. Like, is there anyone in chat that does like any techie stuff and knows about like servers and stuff? Because I can assume it's not very easy, because I know it's not cheap, but I know it's going to be a little bit difficult. Like, how do you decide? How do you actually decide that? Man, I'm really like... I always look at myself as like, I built a PC. I know tech things. Guys, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing. I built a PC. I stream. No idea about tech at all. all I ever do, I don't know if anyone else is the same, but when it comes to things I don't know, I genuinely will just sit there and like try 5 different ways of doing it, and one way will work. And hopefully it doesn't break what I'm trying to actually fix any more than it already was. But tell us something we don't know. Was that like a sarcastic comment, or was that like genuine? Because you probably know more than I do. I was pretty good with tech until recently, and now I realize I'm out of touch. I feel like really... Oh, we have the coordinates. I got distracted. I feel like in terms of tech, I always felt like I was good. And then recently, like, not even just in terms of tech, but in every way possible, I feel old. And Jack can tell you that. Jack can be the true teller of like how old I really am now. Ridiculous. I turned 26 and I'm like, what's your GPU? I have no clue off the top of my head. If you actually wanted to know that, I do have all my like specs below my panels, but like off the top of my head, I could not tell you what I have in this PC. The only thing I can tell you is I have a white NZXT tower. That's it. My graphics card's white and she's cute, but that's all I know. Me sarcastic? How dare you? I mean, come on. I don't know, how could she say such a thing? You guys! I'm 33 and grew up with a tech gamer dad. Now it's like over my head, so complicated. I blame my old age. See, when I was like 22, I kind of got stuff. Kind of understood stuff. Get to 26 and I'm just like, no. I feel like this is what it feels like, what it felt like for my mum all those years. Like me trying to be like, it's not that difficult. And now I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. MSI GTX 1660 Ventus XS. Oh my god. Is that even the correct one? Now that I think about it. Is that even the correct one? Is that even the correct one? No, like, have I put the correct one in the description? I don't know if that's the right one. I actually want to see. I don't think that's correct. It says 6 gig. Yes, it is. Okay. It is the correct one. I just didn't know if you would actually... No, you say that's one of your profile. I know, but I don't know if I put the correct one on there. That's what I mean. I'm never helping out again. I'm sorry. I didn't know if I put it right. I was trying to blame myself. Guys, if you actually ever read my description, you'll know why I'm like I am. It's not my fault. I'm gonna go cry in the corner now. I'm so sorry. Come back. Come back. It's okay. I apologize. Okay, we need to do the adventure stuff because I'm gonna forget if we don't, okay? I'm sorry. Now, the thing about these islands is that the instability has shaken their infrastructure, which is where a talent like you comes in. While you head in, let's do some prep work. Stay with me here. Oh no. He's going to tell me complicated things. These missions are not trivial. Don't expect to nail it. These missions are not trivial. Don't expect to nail it on your first go. I'll take you there with a list of objectives between repairing, assembling, rescuing, and investigating abandoned structures. But the instability up there restricts our incursions to 4 minutes. We don't have these places mapped, so it's a learning process. Oh god, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I didn't know tech. If you don't know tech, you can't even put an incorrect one. Fair enough. I just like copied it from my like systems information. It's okay. I'm gonna have a degree in history in like 3 months, and then like I can just be like, yeah, I'm not tech savvy, but I know history, and then people will be asking me like history stuff, and I'm just also gonna be like, no, I don't know anything. Not your fault, then whose fault is it? It's my brain for being silly. It's not my fault. My brain acts the way it does. Okay. She apologizes as well, laughing while it's like I have to put up with. I'm sorry, but like, you know, I didn't mean it that way, okay? You took me the wrong way. The best we can do, you guys are gonna get like the revenge back anyway. I'm gonna go and do this and I'm probably gonna fail it, so you can laugh at me then. The best we can do is scout out the place, investigate the goals, and patch up what we can, and we'll take you back, and I'll take you back when the time is up. You just won't get a lot done the first time, and that's okay. As we get more experience, new tools, and friends to coordinate with, that's when we're going to be in your prime. Remember, any process you make today is good progress. Okay. Shall we head out on our first mission? Remember, you can bring a crew or strike out as a lone wolf. I think we're just going to do it on my own for now. Ship is ready when you are. Let's go. Okay. Mission in the clouds. Bring a group or find a team to complete the... Oh, wait. Do I have to? Why is it... Oh, it says 1 to 4. Okay. So, don't forget to bring some essential tools with you. What does that mean? What is this? What is this? This looks so cute. I'm just gonna go and do it. Even if we're wrong to do it now, I don't even care. It's a little tricky solo, but you don't need to do all the objectives. Okay, thank you. The frog set? Wait, do we get the frog set from this? Don't. Wait, no, because I need that. I need it. Oh my god. Oh my god. You can? Okay, sorry. I love frogs. Oh my god. This is gonna be... Let's see if I can do it. Let's just see. I might be able to do it. Who knows? Who knows? I struggled with Animal Nook when we went into like the little dungeony thing there. But we'll try. I got the shoes. My friend's got the top. Oh my god. It's better with a team possible alone. Do you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'll do it. And then if we don't do good, when we stream, the next time we stream, if anyone wants to jump in and try and do it, we'll do it. We'll do it together. So I have to... I really enjoyed Animal Nook. Same. I am also a creator for them as well. But we didn't get to play too much. I only got to do, I think, 2 streams. But it's so cute. It's absolutely adorable. I can't wait for the full game. She's a lone alpha wolf. What can I say? I work better on my own sometimes. So, rescue the castaway, energize the beacon, redirect the antennae, warehouse, it's high bloom. Warehouse on and on. Okay, get blooms by completing objectives before the timer ends. Right. So I'm not going to read chat for a minute. You guys get to see me panic. This is usually the most entertaining part of my streams. Let's go. I'm scared. Where am I? Okay, rescue the castaway. What is that? I don't know who that is. I have no idea what we're doing. Oh god, I just fell in the water. There's no map or anything? Do I just wander around like a... Can I go in here? I can? What? One person, no glider, no... What? What is that? Where am I? Am I supposed to be in here? Am I supposed to be in here? Run, don't stop. How do I... What am I doing? Can I get in? Can I get in this? It's a jump puzzle. Am I supposed to be going up? No? Oh my god. Jump on the oh. Okay, but how do I... Oh, wait, I get you now. Yeah, I told you I would panic at some point. And then there's another one over there. Okay. How do I get on you? It's literally telling me how to do this and I'm failing it. I can't do this when I'm toggled on sprint. No! Maybe this is easier with friends. Me IRL? Oh my god. Same. Probably worse, actually. And then did it open it? Do I get to go and get it now? We're already halfway through. Wait, I'm stuck. Wait, I'm stuck. I did it? Do I just leave now? I don't know what I need to do now. Point me in this direction, but you grab the thing, it won't let me grab it. Did it bug? I think it must have bugged. It's telling me to go this way. Well, time to leave. Time to... Can I not leave? I don't want to leave the whole thing. Okay, I don't know what else we can do in like the 40 seconds we have left. Probably nothing, but you know. Yeah, we're done for. Let's just wait for the timer to finish and see what it says. That is like... That sucks, but it's okay. Can I hit these? No. Okay. I think we just wait. I actually did it as well, and you guys are like, you did it, you did it. I'm like, have I done it though? 'Cause I don't think I have. Okay, it's okay. We can do it another day, it's fine. Let's just see what it says. It's gonna be like, you did nothing. Oh, I got something. I probably won't wear it. But I got something. That's better than nothing. I think it bugged again. I think I crashed the game. Oh, we're fine. The thing to be able to do the run adventure drops a lot. Oh. How cute it was, a flower. I didn't know that's what it was. Really? You didn't realize? It kind of reminds me of... Oh, what is it I'm thinking of? The thing from Palia. It reminded me a bit of like the... What is it? I can't think of what it is. There's like a flower we had to collect in Palia at one point, and that's what it looks like to me. Remember, I'm old with eyes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't be able to see without the glasses, so... This material you brought back is bloom. Oh, that makes sense, though. I didn't even get the either. It's bloom. You don't have a paraglide. Use it to jump over the river dock. I do, but for some reason it was bugged. So... I used to find tiny bits of this at the very edge of the world, but I've never seen anything like this. Anything with this density. You're still investigating, but bloom seems to contribute to keeping islands stable. With this, we can reinforce our world projects and maybe, just maybe, finally calm these quakes. Seriously, this could turn the tide for all of us. If we ever find more scrambled coordinates, the ship will be at your disposal for a new adventure. Nice. So, now what? I think it's bugged. Is it bugged? Am I bugged? Wait. If I for your next move, Amane, Herb, or Mita have other things. Okay. But it says to report back to island data. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. I think it's bugged. The glider does look like a bug. You have to find scramble things all over. Do I have to do it again? Is that what it's telling me? I have to do it all over again? Oh wait, no, it's disappearing. It disappeared. Like, it's not there, but it's there? Honestly, for as long as I've been watching, I'm surprised this is the first time you've run into something like this. I had no bugs in alpha. Surprisingly to say, like, I don't think I had really any bugs in alpha. I think I did. I think I've had more bugs in actual fully released games than I had in alpha, so I'm quite lucky for that. But that's the first time I've ran into something. We've played yesterday for 3.5 hours, and it's been about 2 hours today, and I've only just run into my first bug. Bugs are a feature? Yeah, true. Keep you on your toes. Yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I think, who else do we need to speak to? Let's just try and talk to a lot of NPCs, because we definitely need to. I think we can go... Am I going the right way? Yes. Okay, I think we can just go to the Hanging Gardens maybe and see if I haven't spoken to anyone else there yet. There was someone that was 7 hours in and 20 bugs deep. I'm lucky then. I'm actually quite lucky. I did not realize it was that bad. I'm actually really lucky because that's the first bug I've actually run into. I'm almost sure there is no other bugs. I'm like almost sure I have no other bugs. Also, I could have been going home and putting some things in my my chest, but it's fine. Let's just go and see. I think he said someone called Mita. Is it Mita or Mita? Mita? I don't know. We're going to see if we can speak to her as well. Because we can't really do the other thing yet, I don't think. I don't think we can. Because we needed to wait an hour for it to grow. So until that grows, we can't actually do anything. Because I sold my ingredients too soon. Ridiculous. Wait, why am I getting this again? It's giving me the little video rundown for some reason. Not that I mind it, but I've been here before. Okay, ads are going to begin in 3 minutes. I play 3 minutes of ads, so you guys get 57 minutes of ad free. I do apologize. We hate them too. Oh. Wait, no, that's not who I was thinking. Wait, does she have something to give me, or is that the thing I'm already doing? What is this? He has something to give me, so why do we go to him? Make that ad money, I never mind. I mean, to be honest, they're not even really worth it to me because you don't make ad revenue unless you have like a hell of a lot of people. Unless there are a hell of a lot of people in your stream, it's practically useless. So to me, I just hate ads. I just hate ads. I think they're ridiculous. I don't need them. I don't need the money. I do appreciate you guys for sticking around when ads play though. But we despise them too. Thanks for not constantly running ads while doing a 12-hour long beta key giveaway. I could have done. I could be one of those people. I have it automatically set, so every hour it plays 3 minutes. But I would never do that. I absolutely hate ads. I personally have Twitch Turbo because I'm just like... I don't want it. Wait, we came to the wrong place. I wanted to go speak to him. Is it Kasim? I wanted to speak to Kasim because I think he might have something for me to do. I haven't streamed in like 2 years, so I wonder if the revenue on it went down. It wasn't much before, honestly, but I'm sure it's probably less with Turbo out now. You do get a small amount from Twitch Turbo, but it's like obviously not as much. It's obviously not quite as much, but like I say, I personally don't care. I'm personally not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. If they got rid of ads, I would not cry. I was getting 2 minutes of ads like every 5 to 10 minutes of stream. Really? Wow. Yeah, I would never do that. That would drive me insane. That would drive me crazy. That's good. When I saw your Turbo come out, I was wondering if stream was still got cut. It's a very small cut in comparison, I think, but it's fine. It's like, because you still technically like, I think get a bit of ad like revenue, like you do with, obviously you get a subscriber instead of ad revenue, you get a sub. So, I don't know. Something like that. Is he going to teach me how to fish now? This is the Floating Village Research Centre. We coordinate several branches of research going on in the Hanging Gardens. A huge part of our work is protecting endangered fish species. We gather data on the biology and behaviours to make sure they can thrive up here. Actually, let's make this a show and tell, okay? Why don't you bring me some local materials over here so I can show you how to build something cool? You can get jute by salvaging old ropes and baskets that lie around the gardens and rattan from small palms in the village you just came through. Oh, you'll need pruners for the job, so you've got, if you haven't got any ready, grab some scrap metal and craft one in your project station. Okay, we need to go home. We gotta go home. We gotta go home so that I can build that. How do I get home again? It's somewhere around this side. But I'm gonna be like happy to have these now, because once you have like all the tools in the game, it just feels like you can play whatever you want. You don't have anything you have to do. You don't have to play a certain way. You can just do what you want. That's when it becomes more fun. That's where the real thing starts. So we'll go do that. I think I should have the materials to do it. If I don't, we'll do it in the processor thing. But we should have pretty much every material in the game right now, because I have collected quite a few things. I keep running out of space, so that's why. So let's see. I just noticed the ducks at the bottom of the screen as well, but they're like chicks. Is that is not what we have as pets, right? We're gonna have bigger ones than that. I don't think they're gonna be that tiny. I wouldn't be against it though. I would not be against it. Okay, the game is taking a little bit longer than usual, but it's okay. You be patient. We be patient, and it'll happen. This is the first time I've actually had any of these problems. I think it's so funny because when I played Alpha, obviously I couldn't stream it, but I ran into like no problems. I don't think there was a single problem, but I have more problems now because I think there's more in the game. So I think that makes sense. If there's more things in the game, there's more chance for things to go wrong. Whereas when obviously I played Alpha, there was obviously just not as much. So maybe there was just less of a chance. But you gotta be patient when you do these things. Sometimes it can be like really difficult to be like, I just want to play the game. Like, why does it have to take so long? Or why is this a thing? But it's like, the game's not finished yet. I think to speed up the process, I've heard you need to press Control Alt Delete. Can you imagine if I actually fell for that? In big 2026, it's 2026. If I fell for that, I have been using computers and been on the internet since I was like, what? 6? Let me tell you, I am not gonna fall for that. Come on now. Knowing you would. I have fallen for it when I was like 10 years old. I was like 10 years old. When I'm fishing in games like this is my make or break. I couldn't keep playing Stardew Valley because of the fishing mechanics. I believe there is a mod for Stardew Valley if that makes it any better for you, but I don't like using mods just because I don't like to have to do all the fiddly stuff to like, you have to drag it out the folder to update the game and then put it back in, and then you risk the game breaking because of it. But if you don't mind using mods, I would just say there are, I think, some things you can do to make that easier. 267 when you start using computers, yeah, sure. But yeah, it is one of my problems. I am not the biggest fan of having to fish in a game and it just not going the way I need it to. If it's frustrating to fish, I am going to be, let's just say I won't be happy. It will drive me insane. If I have to struggle. I don't like fishing in Palia, but I don't mind it. It's not the worst thing ever. It could be a lot worse. But there are some games that have the weirdest mechanics for fishing. It's like, come on now. Oh, we don't actually have jute anymore. Oh, wait, we have jute. That's jute. That's what we wanted, right? No, rattan. Okay. We might need that though, so I'm going to bring that. Okay. So we go back to the Hanging Gardens. I didn't know you could do that. I thought you actually had to go back to the city to go to the Hanging Gardens. I didn't realize you could do that. Kind of like that. Paler isn't terrible, but I wanted to quit the moment I had to catch lake sharks. I have a TikTok about that. I was trying to like fish for something else, but the lake sharks kept getting in the way, and let me tell you, they looked so cute in the teaser videos, but then when they came out, I was just like, no, go away. Get away from me. Please. I don't want you here. You're very annoying. You're adorable. Your plushies are cute, but I just don't care. I just don't care. You're frustrating. Look, can we do it now? No, we can't. Okay. How do we do it again? I don't remember how to do it. Do we need to just hit the boxes? Maybe that's what we do. Once I figured out that zigzag, it was good and gravy, but it made me leave the Elderwood for weeks. Weeks! That's crazy. I stuck around. I literally didn't leave the Elderwood for... Oh my god, how long was it? It was a long time. I literally stayed in the Elderwood for so long that I forgot what Killamore looked like. And now I don't really go to Killamore anymore. Which is like really weird. Not Killamore. I don't go to the Elderwood anymore. I kind of just stay in Killamore and go between Bahari and Killamore now. I don't know. I think I got a little bit overwhelmed with like how bright the Elderwood was. Which means I am so happy for the new update. The new update is going to be so calm. I'm not going to be calm. But the place around me will be. So it'll be fine. But it's going to be like such a perfect, calming like place to be. Because I feel like the Elderwood, you got really overwhelming at some points. If anyone else agrees. I don't know. Wait, this is it. That's what it looks like. I just feel like I love the mushrooms, obviously. And I think I loved the idea that it was just covered in like brightly colored mushrooms and stuff. And then it just got overwhelming. That's why I left eventually. Wait, we can't get through this shit, right? No. I'm probably getting lost in the Elderwoods. I still get lost in like Bahari. I think Bahari is the place that I struggle with. For some reason, I just can never get my head around it. Never get my head around it. It's been years and I still get lost. And it's been out for so long. Okay, where is the rest of this? I need to find... Oh, there's one. But we're going to get lost in the Highlands soon, so it's alright. It's going to be just fine. I don't mind getting lost in the Highlands, though. I don't know if you guys watch Outlander, but that's... When they said that we were going to have a Highland update, I was like, oh my god, perfect. This is exactly what we need. Not too stiff, not too flimsy. So I know that the perfect tool to get you started with our provisions efforts, a collector rod. It's like a fishing rod, but it won't harm the fish. It'll share the blueprint with you. Wait, cool. Craft one at your level 2. Damn it! And they'll be ready to start our provision efforts together. You'll need to upgrade your project station for that if you haven't already. I already gave you the blueprint, so you don't need to collect any of them. You only need to collect materials and improve the station. Okay. Little bit annoying, but it's okay. It's like, it's fine, right? I kind of wait for the Highlands. I just told them I need Jamie in the update. Yes! Wait, that's so funny. I'm so glad. I'm glad there's someone in the stream that gets that. Oh my god. Can you imagine they have like the circle, the stone circle, just like up in like this little area and everyone's just like, oh my god, that would be so funny. I can only go to Kimmel to repair and buy stuff from Zeki's. I'm mainly sticking Bahari mining for lures. Really? I genuinely just like hunt. If I'm playing Paleo, we're hunting, which we've done quite a lot of recently, but yeah, I'm just like hunting for forever. That's my thing. I'm stuck in hole in Highland. Wait, huh? I'm stuck in hole in Highland. Help. What? Sorry? You're stuck in a hole in Highland. Am I reading that wrong? I might be reading that wrong. I might be reading that wrong. Transport circle. Wait, imagine the fast travels in the Highlands are the stones from Outlander. That would be so funny. I have over 800 lures now. Would you never use them? Do you just like you have them but you just never use them? What is going on over there? We need to see if do these need wiring again? No, not yet. Okay. Okay. Don't stay on long enough to use them. Oh my god. Okay, we still can't do this because we need to upgrade the thing. I can't do anything until... I don't think I'm able to do anything until these grow, right? Oh, you're stuck between rocks and a teleport back. Oh, a hole between... We love when we play like beta tests and things and there's just holes that you can fall through and you just have no idea where you went. That happened to me too at one point in the alpha. Me and one other person just sat staring at each other in a hole like this for like 10 minutes and we were just chatting to each other in the chat. Oh man, I used up 100 stash of those star duskwings before they adjusted the spawn rate. Now I have a million years of apples. Now you wait a million years for apples. I used to do like so much gardening and stuff, but I just like abandon it every so often. Like my animals are starving in Palia. Let's hope we don't have to feed our pets. Because if we have to feed our pets in Loftia, they're not going to be very happy with me, is all I will say. They'll probably be quite upset because I don't feed my animals. Can I put that in? Yes. Okay. We need to upgrade the island, but I can't upgrade it until... What did I need to do? Let's go see what she says. I don't think I can put it down yet, right? Wait, can I maybe try and put it down before I go anywhere? Any station limit reached. Okay. Oh, no, don't sell that. I can sell these, but they're not going to do anything. I'm just going to go see. Don't even get me started on the animals. Haven't seen them all month. Last time I fed them was my last stream, which was like 2 weeks ago. The last stream we did was a paleo stream, and it was 2 weeks ago. They probably hate me right now. I feel terrible. And then call the RSPC it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. They still love me. I still love them. See, I wouldn't name my animals. Oh my god. My chair. I wouldn't name my animals what I named them if I didn't love them. Okay? They're just a little hungry. For reference, I named all my animals in Palia after a Taylor Swift song. So like if there's a name in a song, I use that name to name the animal. So... So there's like a... Oh my god, what am I thinking of? There's Bonnie and Clyde, which is just like so funny because everyone's like, oh, you named it because of... No. I named it that because of Taylor Swift. We have Taylor, but then we also have Kent for Clark Kent because of one of the songs. That's just so funny. Everyone else is like naming them like nothing. They're just naming them after the animals. Like number 1, number 2, number 3. Ooh. Ooh, we're really close to being able to do it, but oh my god. You name your animals after songs, but you won't name a duck Derek. Look, I have one duck. I'm gonna have one duck. If I have multiple ducks, then I would call one Derek. But I'm not gonna have multiple ducks. I'm probably gonna have one, and he's not gonna be called Derek. Okay, he's just not. He's not. I would call the duck Taylor before I call it Derek. I mean, we can call it Noah. We could call the duck Noah after Noah Khan. I'm not naming it Derek. You guys can hate me all you want. I don't even care. I don't even care. It's Noah Khan album release day. I will say what I want, okay? This man signed my signed CD perfectly. He could have a duck named after me. Okay? Actually, perfect signature as well. It's like, I looked at a picture that Noah Khan put on his Instagram of like him signing the inserts, and they were all like very like, you know, like this. And mine's like, as if he like wrote it so slowly. And I'm like, was mine like the first one he did? Did I get lucky or something? It wasn't with a perfect signature. That happened with my Taylor CD and my Audrey Hobart CD. But to be fair, Audrey Hobart signed a CD in front of me, and that was the first one she did, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Okay, we only need these to finish being done, and then we can make food, and and then we can do the sell the food. Or we can make money somehow. I'm not really too sure how. We have to cook 2 meals and deliver them to the shipping bin. That'll give me enough money to be able to buy the upgrade, which will then give me the ability to put this down, which will then give me the ability to make the extra bench, which will then mean I can make something else. I'm struggling. I have nothing to sell. Nothing costs money that I have. It's like, look at this. This is all I have that I can sell. I could sell these, but then I won't be able to do the quest. Other than that, I don't have anything. I wonder if anything in my chest. Hi. I wonder if I can sell any of these. Let's see. Cook the food? I can't cook food yet. I don't have enough. Because, like, look, all I have is this. I sold some of my food when I shouldn't have sold it because I wanted to make money and I didn't realize I needed it later. So currently I have no carrots. I have 4 tomatoes, no lettuce, no eggs, no wheat. But I have wheat growing and it's got like 40 minutes left on it or something. We have no eggs and we have no wheat. So I can't cook anything. I did the same thing. Glad it's not just me. Glad it's not just me. We could sell this though. I could regret it. But we could do it. The wheat takes so long you can buy the eggs from a vendor. Wait, which vendor? I'm going to need those. Okay. I'm going to need those. Oh my god. Quick break to feed the kittens. Oh, you have kittens. Stop. Stop. Definitely go feed the kittens. The kittens are more important than me. 4 of them? Do you have a cat that gave birth, or is it like you literally have 4 kittens through choice? I think Jun sells eggs. He won't sell me anything yet. He won't sell me anything yet because I haven't done one of the other recipes, I think. We just gotta wait for this wheat to grow. He keeps saying to me like, slow down. Don't go too quick. Things take time. She had 5, but we were sold at 1 a week ago. Oh my god. I'm so sad. I hope she's doing well. I hope she's doing well. You actually might unlock that if you do the cooking quest. Oh my god. Loftia, please. My sanity depends on this wheat. I don't want to leave the wheat in case it needs to be watered again in a second. Carrots. I should have done carrots. I know. I should have done carrots. I was like, oh, I have tomatoes. I should do wheat next. What possessed me to do that? You have to do the first mission to get the eggs. This is torture. This is torture. But it's fine because I love the game. We have Oreo, Wolfie, Dusty Baby, and Moo. Moo is the one we lost. Moo. Oh, I'll be thinking about Moo now. That's so cute. She's... Aw. They attach me 24/7. I'd be crying all the time. I have like 4 kittens attached to me all the time. I feel like cats are so funny. I saw like a video of this guy that was hiking. And he had a cat that just like would not leave him alone out of the middle of nowhere. And it climbed up on top of him and just stayed here. It's like, how can you do that? That's a little weird. How are you able to just like grip onto me and just stay there? Thankful for a king size bed so I don't roll on them every night. They sleep with you and everything. It's so cute. Oh my god. Stop. I don't have a cat, but we have like 50 cats that live on our street. Let me tell you. There's like a couple that like to go in my garden, and like at the bottom of the garden there's this little spot that just like, I think the sun perfectly hits and they all like to take turns sunbathing in it. And I have the perfect view on my window too. To be honest, my back garden's like a perfect attraction for wild animals and cats alike. We have like all the birds you can possibly think of. We have all of the squirrels you could think of. We have foxes that come in our garden. We had a badger outside last night. And then the cats are just like, this is the best garden ever. So they just spend all their time in the garden. They're not even mine. And they're not even mine. Okay. What can we do if we can't do this? Because I don't want to end stream yet. I am hungry, but I'm going to end stream soon, but not yet. I don't want to end it just yet, but I don't want to wait 20 minutes for this and we just sit here the whole time. I don't want to do that. I want to do something. And I'm not too sure what we can do in that meantime. The adventure gives money? Well then. In fact, wait, no, I only got one. I only got one for the last thing I did. I don't know if I'm going to get anything on my own. Live in a dump area, so I'm a crazy cat lady that takes them all in. Stop, we have 10 cats right now with the kittens. Wait, so that means you have 6 like grown cats. Crazy. Do the birds bother you in the morning? They wouldn't let me go back to sleep this morning. We have a lot of magpies, and we have a lot of like, we have a lot of females that like to give birth a lot. So we have a lot of like babies around. We can hear them all the time. We have a lot of robins and wrens and blackbirds, which is like so cute because I always see like 2 little blackbirds together and you know one's a female if it's like kind of brown. But they don't know me. I love them. I'm a heavy sleeper. If I can't get to sleep, I will be asleep all night until I want to wake up. So I can struggle going to sleep, but I will not struggle to wake. I will stay asleep. They don't wake me up, but the tree is literally like, I could probably, it's probably like 2 arms lengths away from me. Like, it's not very far. And we have a cherry tree. We have a cherry tree. So the birds love that. But my mum also feeds the birds and the squirrels. She puts peanuts out for the squirrels and she puts loads of seeds out for the birds. So they love it. So I can't complain. Even if they did wake me up, at least I was waking up to birds, right? If you join a group, you can just kill people, I believe. Ooh. Maybe. Maybe we should do that. Let's see. We'll see. There's a lot of people online. Maybe we could. Yes. What, 6 grown cats is like, oh my god. I already know that like dinner time is crazy in your house. I know cats get crazy about food. I've seen, this is this one person on TikTok, I think, and she's got like, I don't know how many she has, but like 4 or 5 cats. And they go feral for the food. They do not let her put the food in the bowl, which is insane. Okay, where's the adventure thing? It's this way, right? Yeah. Get a cook to wake you up in the morning, just sticks outside and you're sorted. Get it. Huh? Oh. We're lagging a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's the robins that wake me up if they wake me up at all. Like, let's be real. They like to sing. They sing their little hearts out. A cockatoo? I don't think we have those. I don't think we have those. Just fed the kit. Oh, it is just fed the kittens and the biggest one, Oreo, literally goes full zoom mode until the plate's down. The older cats are surprisingly good for me, but the kids feed them. They act like they've lost their mind. I can only imagine. Oh, he won't let me. Oh, wait, I can do this. How do I... Wait, I have to invite people. Pia the Pooh? Pia the Pooh? Oh my god. Wait, names are loading in now. Do I just invite random people? That'd be weird. People are gonna hear me. They'll be like, who's this random person? Just like... I'd run people join a group, we all queued at the same time. Oh. Wait, I have Peter the Pooh added, that's why. Wait, that's funny, I didn't even realize that. I think I just didn't even invite anyone. I invited one other person. I'm just gonna invite and see. I don't know. Is there anyone that wants to help? Oh, person. Hi, person. I think if we join, can we join at the same time? Is that what we do? I don't even know what we do in this to actually make it work. I have zero clue. I feel like, I don't know. I could join. Do you guys want to join and see if we can do it together? I'm down for that. I'm down for trying. You guys want to add me or I can add you? Join me? I have the quest for it. Do you guys want to add me? Or shall I add you guys? I have one of you added. I think I only have one. I have Deco added. Join me. I have the quest for it. It's loading for me. I join it. It's loading for me. Wait, how? Oh, wait, the game's loading. My name's the same as my Twitch. Wait. See if we can have a full group do it, because then it might actually be even easier. Request. There we go. I join if I had the ability to. I know. I can't wait for everyone to be able to play, and then we can all just jump on together. That would be so good. Hi. Oh. Capital K. No? I don't know if it's gonna let me find you. Do I already have you added or something? No. That's weird. Wait. I'm on Frankfurt. Maybe it's because we're not on the same server. The grouping is a bit buggy. Ooh. We can see if it works. I mean, I can invite you. Invite. I'm on Frankfurt too. That's weird. Try and add me, maybe. See if it works if you add me instead. Maybe it's on my end. I think the Frankfurt server is a little bit buggy right now. It could be something to do with that. Oh, you're on LA? Oh. Hang on. That might be a problem too. I wonder if I invite you, if you accept it, does it just basically make you come to mine? It shouldn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. It probably if I invite you to a group, it probably brings you up to my server, and if you invite me and I accept, it probably takes me to yours. Like it does in Palia. I think you can do that in Palia too. But I don't know. I mean, I sent them, but I don't know if it went through to you guys or not. Start the adventure. It won't start until we click ready. If I invite anyone one more time, I'll restart my game. Okay, hang on. Invite. It won't start until we click ready. Wait, so if I go on and click that? Because for some reason I have no one in my group. So confusing. So I don't know if it popped up for anyone. You're restarting. Okay. We'll give it a couple of minutes. We don't have anything else to do until like 10 to ish maybe. I think that's what it is. Oh. 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 I put early. Wait, how far into the quest are you? I don't know. I'm like, I need to cook the meals and I need to make another project station. and make the fishing rod. All things which I can't do yet. That's kind of like where I'm at. So I don't know if that's very far in or not. I played it earlier with a stranger. See, I don't know. I was thinking like I could try with strangers, but I just don't know if anyone would want to join. Like, I'm like, does anyone want to play with me? And they're probably just like ignore me. I don't know. I can't upgrade the project station yet because I need to upgrade my project amount that I'm allowed to have. Like, I need to have like a project amount. It's like you have to upgrade the amount of items you can have on your plot. And I don't have the money to do it yet. So, I see Kai. Wait, because I don't see... It's double A, right? Yeah, it's not showing up for me. For some reason. It's actually really confusing. He just vanished? Huh? That is so confusing. Wait, are these pending? Are these like... Oh, I just sent a request. I'm confused. Are these pending requests? I feel like the friendship system and stuff is just like completely confusing. You don't show me either? That's so weird. It's spelled like that, right? It's not showing up. I don't know. I might just have to put in chat and see if anyone wants to do it with me or not. I don't know what to do. I have to end stream soon because I need to eat and I have somewhere to be at in a couple hours. But I was like, I don't want to stand around and do nothing the whole time. If it even says bishop, I think, okay, let's just see if I go in. Let's just see if I can just do it with Deco and see if that works. I have no idea what we're doing. This is all the fun though, of doing things like, oh wait, maybe if you come in. No, wait, let's see what happens. Maybe if you join too, it might add you in. It might, if you come and join as well, it might let you in. I see you, you do? It's taking a minute to load. Hear the music, so we're loading in. You did? Okay, let's see if it works for all three. I don't know. It is taking a second though. But the fact that we hear music's a good thing. I don't know. I'm loading. Good. If it lets us in or not. I'm kind of like on edge. You're by yourself? Oh no. Are we all by ourselves? You see me now? What is going on? I just loaded in. Oh, I'm loading in. We can be alone together. Oh my god. Maybe we do have to be alone together. Maybe, are you able to connect me from, like, add me from that? Because if you're able to add me from that, that might actually be good. That's so confusing, though. I want to see if anyone else had this problem later and see like, what's going on, because I think we're also kind of bugged as well, because we're not loading in. We're not loading in! I just queued it as soon as you did. Ooh. Wait, I missed you by like a split second. That's actually crazy. Literally a split second. Are we gonna get in or not? I don't think we're gonna get in. I think we might be bugged. I think we're bugged. At least we have music. It could be silence. Oh wait, we're good. We're good. We're in. One of you is probably going to be next to me. One of you. I feel like I'm not going to be on my own, right? Oh. I'm in. But I think if someone else joins... You're on your own? Okay, I think we just try and do it as we are, and then next time we try on another stream, we'll see if we can do it together or not, because I don't know what's going on, and I think there might be a bug that's going on. So I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna try on my own again. It's gonna be stressful. But yeah, maybe we try and do it together again. And see if it works another day, because I think it might be broken. We go in. I want to let's click ready at the same time. Oh. I am terrible. I am terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm literally just like, oh, let's just do it. You had a better idea of like, oh, let's do it at the same time. Like 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, nope. The thing is as well, though, there's like a delay on stream. So I probably wouldn't have clicked it at the same time anyway. But I am playing this terribly. I mean, I've never been good at these things anyway. No, it pushed me off. It pushed me off. What is going on? Oh my god, I'm jumping too far. This is crazy. No, it like knocks me off. This is insane. It's literally griefing me so that I just don't win it. First time I do it, it's like, oh. You want that thing? Yeah, you're not gonna get it. We're gonna bug it so you can't pick it up. The second time, it's like, oh, we're gonna make sure you don't jump properly. Crazy business. And for some reason, I'm not actually able to pick. Oh, not pick, but glide for some reason. It won't let me glide. I don't know why. My glide is bugged, I think. But I got the thing. You got bloom. Nice. Now what? Now what do we do? It's sending me in this direction. Why is it sending me in this direction? I don't want to go back yet. What else can we do? I don't know if we need these, but I'm just like... Do this. Where's the other one? There's gotta be more. But where are they? Oh, I have my glider now. If no, it's not really gonna do much. More birds? You do the birds, maybe. Where are they? I don't see them. What's in here? If there's another jump on, I could potentially do it. No. No, I don't think we can do this one. I don't think this one's gonna work at all. That one looks like you need other people to do it with. That one looks kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna do that one. Any birds? What's this? That's nothing. Can't do anything with that. What else do we have? That's one of the trees. I don't know what this is. Oh, grab a friend. It's a 2-person job, excuse me? I don't have friends. I don't have any friends. You wouldn't give me any friends. You wouldn't let me add friends. Oh my. It's okay, we did something. At least we got the thing this time. At least I know how to do that now. But it does kind of look like you didn't wait for your friends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so impatient sometimes. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just do this. And then you guys are like 5 seconds behind me. So I'm like, no. Streamer is fake. No. I made a bad reputation. I hope you guys can forgive me. I've been terrible today, huh? I've been terrible. I wonder if we got any money from that. Paragliding pilots work inside houses. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. I think I got 1 penny from that. 1 penny. That was all I got. That was all I got. Wait, if I speak to her, does she give me a task? Oh. Let's talk logistics. How have you been preparing? Playing with Pebble. Well, prevention is always more efficient than a last-minute fix, especially with Loftia acting up lately. What should I do? I thought you'd never ask. There's a dozen ways to stay ahead of any hiccups, but there's... Is that one of you guys? But there's 2 that I'd prioritize first. Skills and permits. The logic is simple. Lobby up with skills so you're ready for whatever curveball is instability can throw at us. Then get your permits sorted. You can't build a solution without the right resources. Makes sense. So just tell me I can't do it yet. We're on the same page. Let's get started. Permit. Performing various actions in Loftia will earn you experience points in different proficiencies. Oh my god. Wait, you're all here? Stop. I've done good well today, but I'm off. See you later. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by, and I apologize for earlier. The other proficiency will reward you with points which you can use to purchase skills. Skills are powerful. Okay, I don't know. Oh my god. Hello. Wait, I can add you now. Wait. Add. There we go. I think that worked. That's so funny. Finally, actually worked. Where do I do that? I forgot. Yay, we're in. Never mind, I can't teleport. Oh my god. Actually, it didn't work. It did work. It did. It did. Weird, I know. It actually ended up working in the end. Oh wait, you can teleport. I thought you were trying to say you couldn't teleport. Hi! That's so funny. Oh my god, I love this. I'm at the same place in server, but I can't see you, unlike yesterday. Huh, that's interesting. Let's see. Invite. Deco. And... Wait. I can't see you. Let me be- Wait, what did that say? I don't know what that said. It only took finding each other in the wild, but yeah, y'all finally did it, yeah. It took a long time, but we still can't see Deco now. Well, they just attack each other, yeah. Where's Deco, though? For some reason, I can't find... How do I... Add, there we go. Let's see, did that send? Oh my god, the dancing. Wait, how do I dance like that? I can't do that. What in the... All I can do is this. I guess like a death drop. Might need to stop an emote. Oh, maybe that's the thing. Okay, I have 2 choices of what I can do before we end stream. We can try and do that the adventure thing together if you guys want to, because there's 3 of us now at least. Or I can just go and see if my plants are done and end. Because I have no idea what they're doing. Right click on one of the emotes. Oh. No, I don't have a dance one. I have this one. But, Deco! Yay! Hope I can't stop dancing. Oh my god. This is like the new, like, paleo wave. Because there's a wave in the game, but, like, it's just not the same thing. Hi, friend. That's the glider? Yes. This is the glider. I think you can get a different one. But you have to, like, buy them. There we go. Okay, do we want to try and do the adventure together? At least once before I end stream? Because I feel like now we've all found each other. I feel like we might need to. See what we can get. If we can get the frog outfit, I will cry. Where is it? I don't remember where it is. It's this way? This way. This way. The other guy joining in. Wait. Wait. Yeah, let's go and do that. You have the frog shoes. Yeah, see, even the frog shoes is good enough for me. Oh my god, it's so funny. Everyone follow me. So funny. How do we do this then? How do we join it? Do we just like go in and we wait for everyone else to enter? Is that what we do? Wait, look at me. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, you're not in the group? Wait. Wait. Why won't it... Wait, I tried to invite you, but... Oh, you've got the shoes on! They're so cute. They're so cute. Yeah, I tried to invite Fiber. I don't know if it went through. Did it not go through? I think I tried to send it. There, I did it again. Do you have a schedule on your page for your streams? I found you on Discord, but I really love to be able to scope out the game before game release. I used to have a schedule. I think you're in. Yeah, I think you're in. I used to have a schedule for streams, but I kind of stopped the schedule because it got a little bit too much for me, like mentally, to like do streams at a regular time. But I have a Discord, which should show up. I'll just put it in before we go into the thing. If you guys want to join it, so you know like if I'm going to be live or not. I usually post on there or on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, when I'm going to go live. So it's kind of like on the day now. But yeah, do we just go in? Do we click it? Like, do we just do this? Everyone tried to click it quickly when it starts and everyone else gets in. I can get a spot. Oh, okay. Should we do it now? I don't know when to do it. I'm scared to do it and you guys don't get in. Okay, just start it. Okay, okay. But yeah, I used to stream at 4 PM on like Wednesday and Friday, but I kind of just like decided not to. I was like, I'm gonna stream when I want to. You guys will see a lot of me playing Loftia for the next 2 weeks. I'm not too sure when, but it'll just be like as much as humanly possible. It could be tomorrow, it might be Sunday, it might be Monday, but I need to play the game. Like, I'm desperate to keep playing the game, so thanks, you definitely keep my vibes up. You're definitely my vibe for streams, so I'll keep watching when you pop up. I like that, thank you. We're all here! Yeah, thank you. Starting 15, okay. I try my best. I try my best. I like to think I'm funny, but... I like to think I'm funny. It worked. Nice. Nice. I have my streamers that I like to watch, and I know that certain, like, people feel like a certain way towards other streamers, so it's just kind of like... I don't know. I have, like, my particular streamers I like to watch on repeat. Oh. It only lets one in. Okay. It only lets one in there. Okay. Pressure. Now what do we do? What's up here? Nothing's up there. There's just a list. Someone else has to come with me. Oh! Someone else has to go with them. Okay. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Okay, yeah, it does. Okay. Do I have to just stand here or do I come over? I think I need to come over. Oh, you do that and oh, I was probably the worst person to come over and do this. Oh my god, if I fall... Oh my god. Do I have to hold this or do we just jump over? Oh my god. This is terrifying. Where do we go? It's back there? How do we get over there? Or do I have to do this so that you can jump on that one? Oh, this is so difficult. I didn't expect it to be this difficult. What? What just happened? What just happened? That's crazy. Oh. Oh, we have more now. Oh, it's just you. No, wait, I thought there was 3 of us in here then. That's crazy. Okay, and then I have to go down here and go on this so that you can get on it. Oh, they're all here. Wait. This is so bad. Oh my god. No, it's just like throwing you off. Just step off it. Don't jump off it. I think that's what it is. Yay, we got over. Okay. I don't know what that one does. I don't even know what that one's for that Deco's on. I have no idea. Seeing everyone just fly off. This is a cozy game, right? Oh wait, that one moves that one, but I don't know what this one does. I have no idea. I'm going to do the other ones? Okay. Oh, it just doesn't work, huh? Oh. Oh, the catch. Okay, and I think you have to stand on that one so that I can get on this one. But I have to jump on it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me right now. Okay. Okay. And then I go on this one. So that someone can get on this and go up there and get it. We have 30 seconds. Go, go, go. Yeah, we did it. Nice. Nice. And now we run around like mad heads trying to do the last couple of things. Oh my god, that was eventful. That was eventful. I don't think we can do any of the others, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully we get more for doing that one though. Okay. Okay, we got a shirt, so now we have some pants, we have shoes, and we have a shirt, but we don't have the one I wanted. We got skill points and stuff though. Oh, we got a window. Nice. Okay, well we did something. We can definitely work on that in the next stream if you guys want to join. Maybe we can get the full outfit. We have to like look around for the scraps though, I think. I think it only takes the person who started its mats. Oh, really? This is so funny. We suck. We do. If you want me to host the next one, I am gonna actually probably leave it there. You guys can carry on if you want to though. But I am very thankful for you guys actually joining me because now I kind of get how it works. But thank you guys. We might suck, but you know what? It was fun. I'm gonna go back to my plot, but thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna go back to my plot and we're gonna check on my wheat and see if it's done. We suck together, yeah. You know what? It's fine. Like, if we suck, at least we all sucked at the same time. At least we did it together. It's fine. It's better than doing it alone. You'll suck less next time. Yeah, true. It did say, he was trying to say to us, like, look, it might not be great the first time you do it, but you'll only get better as you go along. Plus, I've never done that before. I don't even know if that was in the alpha or not. So, you know what? It's fun. It's fun. It's even funnier when you're with friends, though. Oh, we're stuck in a loading screen. No. Hopefully my wheat is done. If my wheat is not done, I'm gonna have to just water it and do it off stream or something. I don't even know. I was like on the platform because I was in the US. Oh, that makes so much sense. I kept thinking why I was throwing you off. Because like I'm on like 50 ping and I was like, wait, why is it like throwing you? It was like a meme. That's like one of those reaction videos, like a GIF, like a reaction GIF or something now. It's just like in my mind. I'm like you just flying off into like infinity or something. Oh, that was so funny. I might have to clip that. Do you guys mind me clipping that and posting that? Because I think that's really quite funny. We really did get launched off, honestly. I was like, just maybe walk onto it, it'll be fine. And like, you're over here with like, yeah, I'm on like 400 ping, by the way. How much was your ping when it was doing that? All I did was walk forward. Really? I thought you were trying to jump. I thought it was making you like launch so far because you was jumping off the platform, but 180. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I get why now. That's probably why. Because when the game's on like 50 to 80 ping for me, but then it spikes up to 300, 400. So when I'm on like 300, it's impossible to do anything. Anyone else? Anyone here has a level 2? I don't. I need to upgrade my tools, I think. I think the tool upgrade stuff, maybe I could probably just do on my own, like off stream. I don't really feel like it's something I should do on stream. Well, not like should, but maybe I don't have to. It might make it a little bit easier to do like some stuff on the next stream. But once we get back, I hope I don't have to water my... If I have to water my wheat one more time, please no. Please no. You have to find the tool upgrade. Do you have to find the whole tool upgrade? Or do you just have to like... Oh, you have to find the recipe. Oh. You have to find it. I thought you just upgraded it after a while. I had no idea. Let's see before we leave. Hello. Before we leave, can we pick it? No, we have to water it. Damn. Well, it can be watered offline. So it's fine. Me snooze the ads. Me snooze the ads. Oh? What just happened? Wait, do you spawn that or is it just like something that... What the... I've never done this before. I just keep seeing this pop up and I didn't know how to play it, but this is actually funny. Everyone's just getting donked. Oh, that's a valid placement, huh? Oh, 17? No! I want to make sure I've done everything I can before I log off. I think I have. Wait, you get it from what? It didn't load the message for some reason. There's a lot of things, I think a lot of things in this game you just have to discover. I think it's just kind of like, you just go and like, oh, it's like a toy. Oh, is it like the toys in Fortnite when you throw like tomatoes at each other? That's kind of funny. Let me... No, mute. Don't unmute. Keep it muted. I don't want to hear like a splashback volume. Let me have a little look of who I can send you guys to. Okay. I don't think we're gonna end yet, so I think I'm gonna just do this. Okay. Assuming that they don't end just before I actually raid in. If you guys need to go and run, don't worry about it. Join the raid and then leave. We can raid and run if you need to. I'm going to have to because I'm gonna have to go and eat, but drop by and say hi to Oakling. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm not too sure when I'll be live again. It could be tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know. If you guys are interested in when I'm going live, I do typically post it in my Discord, like any disrupts to streams or anything, it's typically posted in there. But yeah, I hope if you guys haven't already got a code to the game, I hope you get one. I hope you win a giveaway. I'm thinking of you. Have a good rest of your day and have fun in the game, and I'll see you guys in the next stream.